Welcome on in, Pokemon Unite trainers. We are back, day number 3, Unity European Cup, presented by Unity Clash, sponsored by Nouns Esports. And today we have 4 amazing matchup in our group stage, bringing you all the action. We have 4 casters. You only see 2 of us here. You have a couple joining us a little bit later, but casting these 2 first matches with me, the man, the myth, the Greedent legend, Gatlu. What is up, my friend?
Hey Kyle, it's nice to be back again. Day 3. Yesterday was a very exciting day. I think the first day and the second day have been amazing. I have been watching some incredible games, specifically the game against UK. Like UK was just playing out of their minds. So I'm looking forward to see how they will perform today. But for the first matchup, we're gonna see the former champions from the European Cup 2022, Team Italy, playing against Team Sweden. So how it works right now is if Team Sweden wins against Team Italy and UK wins against Team Italy, Sweden has a chance to go out of the group stage 1 if Italy loses 2 times in a row. But it's going to be very hard because in Italy we have a lot of great players, right? We have Potato, we have Servas, we have Klaus, and it's just going to be a stacked team as well.
Yeah, a couple of really good teams. We got a couple of great matchups. But like I said, this is all presented by Nouns Esports. So I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor. So from grassroots tournaments to premier events like Riptide and Let's Make Moves Miami, the players are making waves, and they're making waves here in the Unite scene. Obviously, a big sponsor of your team throughout the World season and a big sponsor for this tournament, making things happen in the European scene. So super excited for them to be part of the action, helping grow this Unite scene. They've been a wonderful partner. Like I said, we have 2 additional casters that will be joining us later in the day. So Spartan Tano and Mad Magical will be joining for games 3 and 4. But we are, like you said, we are casting games number 1 and 2. The first 2 matches, like you said, Italy versus Sweden. Yeah, we haven't seen Italy yet, but like you said, an amazing team, former champion. Sweden, though, lost 2-0 versus UK yesterday, we saw. But let's take a look at Team Italy. So if you want to go ahead and present them, Gatlu.
So
who's on this team?
We have the captain, Team Klaus, also Klaus. Klaus chooses to play with Servas, Kree, Potato, Natalo, and Efsal. So for reference, for this team, Potato is probably going to be the top laner. Klaus is going to be in the central area. Servas in the support role, Kree on the defender role, and Natalo on the attacker role. So I'm pretty excited to see how Kree and Natalo is gonna perform with these 3 amazing players.
Yeah, Italy is a scary team. I'm excited to see if they're able to make it out, and I mean, they have a stacked group, right? We're gonna see them against Sweden here in this first matchup, and we're also gonna see them a second time against UK. But let's take a look at Team Sweden. Not a bunch of slouches themselves. We got Starzerg, Zante, Charlie King, Galnagunner, and Kid Tans. I am excited to see what they can bring back. Like you said, they lost 2-0 against the UK yesterday. A very tough matchup. UK is looking pretty good themselves.
Yeah, definitely. I think Team Sweden may be able to adapt towards what happened yesterday. It's going to be from yesterday. So today is going to be a new day. And I hope that they will adapt their drafts, maybe play around their strengths, or change how they are playing, because right now they're playing a lot of double mage, so maybe considering banning out the Hoopa or not bringing the Hoopa at all, because it didn't really look great on the day they played it, right, with the Trick Hoopa. It was a nice idea, but it was just not working really well.
Yeah, Trick Hoopa is very complicated. Yeah, I think the game that we saw them try to run it, they were too mage centric, right? Like, I feel like Trick Hoopa is one of those things that you really need to be like in the face of the enemy to really get the value out of. And when you have those mage comps, I think just having the portal, I think just generally having portal is generally better, but it may be some niche way to use Trick Hoopa, but I don't know. I think just the tempo that Hoopa allows you to play is so incredibly valuable with the hyperspace hull opposed to Trick. But yeah, rest of the matches for today. So we have Italy versus Sweden here in game one, and then game number two that we're gonna have Austria versus Belgium. Austria lost 2-0 against Greece, and Belgium won 2v1 versus Greece. So that should be a pretty good matchup. I'm really excited to see how that one plays out. So they have kind of that common opponent win, or common opponent to kind of gauge them. Obviously, Belgium winning and Austria losing. So you think that Belgium might have the upper hand, but that's why we play the game, right? It's anything can happen in these 10 minutes and I guess 20 or 30 minutes if they go to a game three. And then once we get Tano and Magical in, it'll be the Czech versus Portugal. And then that last game that we kind of hinted at, Italy versus UK. And I don't know about you, but Italy versus UK, that's the one that I have my eyes on.
Yeah, definitely. I think that the strength about Belgium is that they have a player that is on the top end side, which is called Tibia, and he actually plays the meta Pokemons. In Europe, currently, there's not a lot of people who are playing the Zacian. They are playing the Zacian sometimes, but they're not really picking it as a priority, so it's always not gonna get picked. For example, I don't think Sweden is gonna pick Zacian, so they might ban it or not pick it at all. So that's why I think Belgium is just in a very strong spot, because if you have a great Zacian player, you either wanna ban out the player or you wanna give it to him, and then he's just gonna try to carry on it. He specifically plays the Metaclaw build. What do you think about Metaclaw? Because you don't really see it too much. You don't really see it in Asia. So this specific player just plays the Metaclaw play rough build.
I think it can work. I've seen it work time and time again. So it makes me think that maybe more people should try to bring it out and see, maybe do a little bit of theory crafting to see where it works and where it kind of falls a little bit more short, opposed to, the Sacred Sword build that you see. I think like that build is generally safe just because you have that high mobility that the agility provides you. But we have game one got loose. Sweden's gonna be on your orange side, Italy gonna be on your purple side. We got the band stages. What are you looking for from these bands currently?
So I'm looking to see that Italy was watching the stream yesterday and learning from how Sweden was playing, because this is the first time Italy is playing, right? So Sweden doesn't really know what Italy is trying to cook, while Italy already knows what Sweden was kind of playing. So you already see the double attacker bands from Italy towards Sweden, and Sweden goes for the Zacian and Charizard band. I was mentioning the Zacian players, and Potato is one of them in Europe that plays the Zacian very well.
Yeah, plays Garchomp pretty well too. Maybe you'll be able to break that out here in one of these games. But immediately you got the Ceruledge, one of the most powerful Pokemon in the current meta. Not a lot of counterplay to it sometimes, especially with that Phantom Force being able to go under the world of the Thea Sky Runes, come back up and just deal massive amounts of damage. How are you feeling about the Pokemon? Is there any counterplay to it currently?
Yeah, like right now, like if you play against Ceruledge, you basically just wanna pick meta Pokemon as well. And we just saw that Umbreon got picked up. Umbreon is a very strong character into our rounders in general. It is very well known, it has always been in the meta. And currently there's a new defender that is shining by like a lot, Mamoswine. So I think just if you wanna play against Ceruledge, you basically wanna play either like a bulky character, you can even play Garchomp, or you just want to play a team composition that benefits your team. So obviously we see the double attacker again. This time around we get the Pikachu with the Inteleon. So I am curious to see how the Umbreon is going to protect the backline, because it has the foreplay and the snore. So I'm just curious about it as well.
Yeah, I agree. Double mage compositions are generally just so tough to play, especially in the heavy burst and heavy dive meta that we are kind of been in for the last few months, it seems. I mean, you got the Buzzwole to kind of deal some frontline damage, but if they're able to get to that backline, like you said, Umbreon's going to have to put in a lot of work to try to keep that Pikachu, keep that Inteleon protected. Obviously, Inteleon has a little bit of escapability, that Fell Stinger or Acrobatics, depending on how they want to go. But look at this Zervis on the Hoopa. Heavy mobility, going to be able to transport the team up and down and really keep the tempo that Italy likes to play with.
I'm curious to see if the Pikachu is actually going to one Muffling on top lane, or if the Inteleon plays stronger like yesterday. Because I do think that Buzzwole and Hoopa is a very strong opponents to play against. But if you send the Pikachu on top lane, so the thing about Buzzwole is, the reason why it's not being picked that much in the Asia side compared to the West side is Asia knows how to play against Buzzwole. Buzzwole falls off in the mid to late game, and if you make sure that the Buzzwole stays small in the early game, it's very hard for the Buzzwole to come back. So this is something I'm looking forward to in the game, because if this doesn't happen, the Buzzwole is just gonna keep on trotting the attackers.
Yeah, oh yeah, completely. Yeah, that's always one of the things that I try to say if I'm playing. I'm more of a support main, so I tend to play that top lane position a lot. If ever I see an opponent on the Buzzwole, my immediate thought is I just need to prevent them from getting as many stacks as early. Something like an Eldegoss is that perfect candidate to do so. Those basic attacks do a lot of work. Like are able to slow down, and even if you pair that, give that red buff over to them too in that early part of the game, that can be really detrimental to the Buzzwole that wants to get those stacks online.
Something I'm curious about is if the Inteleon liquidation is actually fine here, because you see a lot of snapshots. The issue about snapshot is only that you actually have to hit the snapshot. So if you talk with your team, you wanna say, can you stun them now? Or the defender says, I'm gonna stun them, I'm gonna snapshot. So I'm curious to see if he's gonna play snapshot or liquidation. But Kittens is a player who is a well-known attacker player that likes to play range abilities. So I'm curious to see how that happens. Something to note as well on top lane, the Blaziken just lost his focus ban. That means that he doesn't have focus ban for 80 seconds, and the Buzzwole could abuse that in the future.
Yeah, and the Buzzwole is just frontlining with this Hoopa, trying to get as much online as possible. Able to get that Fell Stinger online, get to the last hit, so Sweden hasn't really been able to step in front of it and prevent any of those last hits from happening. Here we go, Ceruledge along with this Sylveon, throw in the Hyper Voice. I believe Sylveon's focus ban also just popped there, getting a KO on that Drizzile. Their jungler is down early, Galu.
Yeah, normally you want to see Sylveon playing triple damage on Hyper Voice, but he specifically goes for the focus ban bit, which is very good. Right now, Italy just looks very, very strong. Pikachu did manage to get the big spell, which is very important for XP, but the top lane is just starving. Dodging deciding to just say, okay, I can't play against this Buzzwole at this point, I'm just gonna leave the top lane side, and the support does the same, so they will get a lot of scores in, because Klaus noticed that no one has top lane, walks towards top lane and scores with the Buzzwole, while the Torchic just tries to avoid the Buzzwole to get level 5.
And Buzzwole is going to be able to farm and stack freely, while Hoopa is going to grab vision, figure out where the rest of the team is. Obviously, Torchic getting some stacks in, but Hoopa going to try to just send themselves back to the base, but no! Drizzile gets the KO right before Hoopa can go in, and they're going back to the Pokemon Center the old-fashioned way.
I like how proactive the Pikachu was, going towards the middle earlier, so to make sure they're getting the middle spotters, and then when they decide to fight in the middle, they can potentially get some kills, but Klaus is already very strong, getting some stacks on top inside. Might be falling against the Umbreon, extending his boundaries, and then falling. Very good shutdown for Kittens. This is something that Sweden needs right now, because top lane is looking pretty rough.
Yeah, top lane looking pretty rough for them, but the big snipe shot there will able to close out the KO on that Ceruledge. So if Inteleon could get online, continue putting pressure on with those snipe shots, it's going to be a long day for Italy, but they're looking pretty good regardless. Here's another snipe shot, big Electro Ball, and Buzzwole goes down. Nice teamwork here by Sweden.
Yeah, I love this combination of having the Volt Tackle to stun them, to knock them down, and then the snapshot hitting for 100%. But also having the Blaziken stunning them into Umbreon. So this gun works very well around the Inteleon, who you don't really see often in the central area, right? So Ketten's going for the carry ball in this game, while the Pikachu is going defensive with the Voltacle, protecting the Blaziken and the Pikachu. So we have a secure on top lane. The Blaziken is not level 8, so that means he has a lower chance of getting the top lane. Because he's getting a massive Unite move on the backline, getting a 3-man Unite move, getting a double kill, Pikachu using his big button, and also falling against the Solar as well, securing the bottom objective potentially.
Oh my gosh, that was an incredible combination of Unite moves. The Revenant Rend and the Fairy Frolic hitting massive amounts of damage and really healing up the Sylveon, who is getting pretty low on HP. So doing that damage does help that ability as well. But Basement Reggie likely going over to Italy as long as they can chunk this down. There's no tier 1 pad, so they should have this relatively easy. But look at Potato, 1v1 versus this Blaziken, but Ceruledge has joined the fray. So is this Hoopa, and Blaziken likely going down, and they do. Now looking like Pikachu is going to make the defensive stand here. They pop the Thunderstorm. Hoopa barely getting out on a sliver of HP through the hole.
Yeah, what I mentioned that the Ceruledge would have actually fought against the Pikachu if he didn't Phantom Force the Vultaker. He Phantom Forced the Vultaker to escape from the Vultaker, so he didn't hit anything, and he didn't get damaged by the Pikachu. So that was very well done by Klaus. Umbreon going on the backline with the power play. Ceruledge activating his Unite move and just get that on the backline, trying to do his best to deal damage.
Oh yeah, another Revenant Rend. Those things are coming out very quickly right now. They low cooldown, especially with all the farm that they're able to get. Here's the Hyper Voice, but this Blaziken is tearing them down, and a huge snipe shot lands from this Inteleon. Once again, another double KO though from this Ceruledge, and Klaus is looking really strong here in the early on. 167 to 9 as we near the halfway mark, and this Overheat is looking to gear up for Sweden. Oh man, these snipe shots though, they're hitting like a truck right now, Galu.
Yeah, you can notice from Kittan's gameplay, he is locked in. He really wants to win this. He knows he needs to win this, so he's playing it at his best right now. Umbreon zoning out the Buzzword to make sure that they get it secure. Pikachu using his Vultaker, like ultimate Vultaker Electro Ball combination to one-shot the Buzzword, and just trying to force the company. Hoopa activating his Unite, trying to protect Regulaki as best as possible. But the team composition that they just built works so well around all of them. A lot of stuns, a lot of damage, but it looks like Potato is going to get shutdowns with the number slide, protecting the goal zone.
Great job, great defensive stand here for Italy. This Regieleki looked like it was going to be able to walk in a couple of different times, but great job by Italy as they try to grab another KO. They do find the Eldegoss in the backline. You do really want this Mamoswine to finally get online. They're going to need a little bit of farm, maybe the last hit on this, but did we just see an Ultra Swole Slam on top of the Lecky, Kalu?
Potato just activating his Unite move, I guess, saying it's my last Unite move. I just want this Regieleki to get out of the map, activating it, potentially having a misclick, but at this point they're also getting the bottom objective and protecting the top lane. Maybe being too aggressive on top lane side and getting punished by it.
Oh yeah, the Hoopa gets punished. They can't go back to the home, but double KO for this Inteleon. This might be a 3 KO, but it's actually Pikachu cleaning up the Ceruledge. That's going to allow them to get some of their points in, mostly for the first time. They only had 9, and now they're going to add another 100 to that total. Double 50 cap right there, and a little bit of a decent overcap. Not too shabby, about 29-point overcap here, nearing the 3-minute mark. There's another minute until Rayquaza. There is another Regieleki that will be spawning, but Hoopa is bringing the team up with the Rings Unbound.
Using the Unite move at 3:15, saying, okay, we have a last minute Unite move, nobody is stopping, so just everyone take the portal and then we can score. So a mechanic that you wanna learn when you play with Hoopa is, if you die and the Hoopa activates his Unite move, you can take the ultimate in the invincibility form and you can still score, but nobody can stop you. So this is something you can do with Hoopa when you have the Unite move in the final stage or during the game.
Very exciting. Regieleki go over to Italy. Sweden's going to have to be forced to defend this. Meanwhile, Italy is going to try to farm up their Unite moves, make sure they get those back online. Hoopa still needs one. Ceruledge still needs one. And there's 30 seconds until Rayquaza. They have a pretty decent lead, a little under 100 points right now. So a singular dunk, especially on that bottom lane, could turn the tide. But Italy is going to get set up in this Ray Pit, take some positioning, especially with this Mamoswine.
So what I'm looking at this team fight is if the Ceruledge gets a big Unite move on the backline, he can potentially one-shot the backline. But the Buzzword is going to have a pretty hard time hitting against the backline, just being top lane, staying like pretty low in position to not get punished because he gets a lot of CC abilities. So I'm looking on the Mamoswine and the Ceruledge engages on this specific team fight to win against Sweden, and Sweden trying to just catch someone with the Vultaker and the Umbreon.
Oh, big snipe shot landed right on the Mamoswine, but Hoopa's going to reset them, get them some health back. Rayquaza, meanwhile, getting tapped and chipped down. Here's a big Hyper Voice engage, but Mamoswine's looking to engage with the big Earthquake. Snipe shot just a little bit wide. Hoopa sends them back to the Pokemon Center, and they're going to get a little bit of a regen. Buzzwole looking for a flank, looking to protect and making sure that Blaziken can't get on top of the squishier Pokemon.
Yeah, the issue with this team fight right now is it's stalling a lot, and Sweden is losing right now. When the moment the 1 minute mark appears, people are going to start using the Unite moves. So I'm curious to see if the Mamoswine is going to get a big engage, or if they are managing to kill the Mamoswine before he gets any engage.
Hoopa gets chunked down by a snipe shot. Ooh, that just missed. Here comes a Pikachu engage. Big Thunderstorm. Gonna take out the Mamoswine. Mamoswine is not able to utilize their Unite Mirror. Azure Spy Vision is popped, and wow, these Pokemon are going down. Ultra Swole Slam doesn't come out from the Buzzwole, so Italy is falling like flies. Sylveon down. Ceruledge down. It's just this Hoopa. Rayquaza getting chipped. Rayquaza at half. Pikachu with a 4 KO streak. There's gonna be a hope and a prayer, but Italy is all down. And Sweden gonna be getting their points in Gatlu. 100 coming in from Inteleon, 100 inevitable from this Umbreon.
Yeah, scoring a total of 500 points in the end game fight, just showing that they wiped the end game fight, deserving the win here, killing everyone, getting the Rayquaza, and scoring 500 points. I do want to mention, like, we don't have an analysis today, but Kitten's positioning was on peak. He was using his Unite move to get movement speed and damage boost. He dodged the Buzzwole Smackdown. Eteros used its Unite move to protect Kittens, and then Kittens also dodged the Ceruledge Unite move. Ceruledge Unite move doing 0 damage, and just killing the entire backline, while Blaziken is cleaning up with the Pikachu. That was very well done by the attacker player. Attackers in general are just so squishy, so it's always really fun to see when an attacker player pops up like this.
Yeah, what an incredible player. Not only that, but the Pikachu perfectly timed Thunderstorm to clean up that fight. And the unfortunate thing here for Italy, as we look at some of the KO numbers, Mamoswine and Buzzwole did not get to utilize their Unite move, and they went down before utilizing it, and that is just so detrimental, especially in these big team engages. And Hoopa did get to utilize their Unite move, but by the time they did, there were already 3 members down, and I think it was a little too late at that point.
Yeah, it's very hard for the matchup from Potato like to just play against them. They have the Umbreon stun, they have the Eteros Unite move, they have the Blaziken, they have the Pikachu. The only target they can potentially get is the Inteleon, but the Inteleon dodged the abilities from the Buzzwole, making sure to escape from the Buzzwole and just cleaning it up. But as you can see, Pikachu having the 100k damage, just right now one of the best attackers in the game, choosing to get the Pikachu. But this time around, they also got the Blaziken, right? If we saw the game against UK, UK was picking the Blaziken 2 times in a row as a last pick. So this time around, Sweden picks up the Blaziken as a last pick and makes it work.
Yeah, you don't often get to see Blaziken fall in the draft that late, right? It's definitely one of the stronger all-rounders. I mean, you take that and Ceruledge, and you could kind of take either of them. Obviously, Ceruledge getting a little bit more priority, but Blaziken's still very strong in their own regard. They kind of don't have a great 1 through 4, but once it gets 5, it tends to give you a little bit better. Obviously, you have a little bit of crowd control with that Blaze Kick, and then really things start to turn on once you get access to your Unite move, that stance change to allow you to switch between punch and kick forms. But wow, Sweden taking game 1. Not what I expected going into this one, Gatlu.
It's a bit strange because when I'm trying to compare the games from yesterday to today, the Buzzwole player was destroying the top laner. Today, the Buzzwole is destroying the top laner. What is happening? Every time in the mid to late game, the Buzzwole is not doing anything. The Potato did 30k damage in total. It just shows that he didn't have any impact. Every time he tried to engage, he just gets spam CC'd. So there might be a choice of a different top laner, but I do think that Buzzwole is one of the strongest top laners in the game. Don't get me wrong. It just, you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it to pick it up in the current beta, or is it something you need to do, you need to change?
Mm-hmm. It's maybe something where they could have picked the Blaziken. It was obviously on the table at that point. So, unfortunately, going to go back to the drawing board before game number 2 here. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe you pick Blaziken. I mean, Potato obviously has a deep Pokemon pool. I've seen them play Zeraora. I've seen them play Obviously, Garchomp is one of their main picks. Number of things that they could play. I don't know how I feel about Buzzwole. I think, like you said, it's good in the early game, but that late game, it's just so tough, right? There's just so many things that could counter it.
So I'm curious to see like how they're going to draft. Is Zacian gonna be banned again? I personally think that the Zacian ban is a good choice, especially against a player like Potato Uwu. He plays the Zacian a lot. He did play it at Worlds as well in the second year, so that's gonna be a very cool showing. I just think like Zacian will be, I don't know, one of the best characters in the game currently. But
Oh yeah.
because of the EX Pokemons being allowed, you cannot ban the basic, you cannot ban the Sabernet, you can't ban everything, right? You only have 2 bans. So there might be more bans in the future potentially. Because currently we are like Charizard is just not getting out from his jail, and it's just gonna be similar bans around the board again.
Yeah, Charizard definitely deserving of a ban that Unite Move can really turn the table on its face, right? Like, it's so incredibly powerful once it gets that level 9, and honestly not too terrible even that 5 through 7 stage as Charmeleon. But we're gonna get the Zacian ban once again. Armarouge also getting the ban hammer, so I imagine we'll see Italy maybe pick a similar thing, maybe go with that Ceruledge once again here.
Yeah, first picking the Pikachu, making sure that Sweden is not getting the Pikachu. Now they have the choice of picking the Mamoswine or the Umbreon. Having a Pikachu, like dealing against a Pikachu and the Mamoswine is very tough. So I think that Team Italy is going to pick up the Mamoswine plus Pikachu combination, while Team Sweden is just going to go for a similar draft of starting with the Umbreon and the Eldegoss pick.
100%. Yeah, Pikachu, obviously we saw it provide so much value in that late team fight, getting that Quadra KO at the Ray fight to really turn Sweden into a powerhouse in those last 2 minutes. Umbreon, Eldegoss, though, solid core, obviously great engaged with that foul play Snarl Umbreon, and then Eldegoss really able to kind of keep the team topped off with those pollen puffs. But Italy gonna pick another similar core. They're grabbing that Ceruledge again, and Zervis once again taking that Hoopa.
So far, nobody played the new item Goleka. I just saw a Goleka on Zervas quickly, but then he changed it instantly to X-Speed. Goleka just an item that is kinda good, kinda bad. Having a 90-second cooldown is probably one of the issues by it's not being used by these competitive players. But starting this time around, picking up the Buzzwole with Xantier, but it's again like a similar draft, right? Pikachu is good into Buzzwole, Crustle is good into Buzzwole. Garchomp is like Gyarados is like fine into Buzzwole, just needs to get the Gyarados evolved. So I'm curious to see how the Buzzwole is going to perform. But this time around, Potato picking up the Gyarados, and Kitten's playing the Savion.
Yeah, Gyarados is such an interesting Pokemon. If you could get an early KO or an early assist with it, it just really turns it on and really flips the script in that top lane. That effort gauge, though, it can be a tricky thing, right? If you're not able to get online before the 8-minute mark, you're really putting your team in a rough spot. But usually you see it get paired with something like that Hoopa, like an Eldegoss, to really keep that A-press pressure on it. Both of those things synergize with it really well. And the other thing that you see a lot, too, is once we decide where this Gyarados is going, like you said, typically the top lane, you usually see the jungler make sure to focus that lane so that Gyarados can get online as fast as possible.
Yeah, there's always like some strategies where the attacker is making sure to farm the bot lane side, and then after the bot lane farm is finished, he's letting the defender go on the bot lane side, staying on the bot lane side, rotating towards top lane side, and then having a 4-man push on top lane to make sure to get some stacks on the jungler, but also potentially getting a kill. So again, like I mentioned before, if the Buzzwole stays small, he's gonna stay small during the entire game, because it's very hard for Buzzwole to get catch-up XP. Obviously, like, there's like this fancy combo where you can use Smackdown plus eject button to redirect the enemies towards your teammates, but we're gonna see how the Buzzwole is gonna perform. You're gonna have the Ceruledge in the central area, having an EV evolution in the central area on the opposite side, making maybe sure to push the Buzzwole on the top end side, and I think the bot lane is gonna start with the Indeedee. Before you saw like a lot of strategies where you took the blue buff in the beginning, and then you just skip the middle Indeedee, but because the blue buff XP got nerfed, it is not really that worth it anymore to do so.
Exactly. Ooh, we have Sylveon coming up for an early gank with just the red buff, and we have Eldegoss putting on some A+ pressure, and Magikarp gets, I believe, might have been Hoopa that might have got that, actually. I thought that for a second it might have gotten stolen by that Sylveon, but Eldegoss and Sylveon putting on a lot of pressure. It is a mystical fire, and now we also have this Buzzwole just playing forward, trying to get as much done in that top path as possible.
So this time around, the Klaus is putting towards bot lane side. Obviously, sometimes you just don't want to lose, like, gank to win, like losing lane. So you want to get experience from the even lane. So the Team Sweden decided to ban this Fabulous and just go for the blue buff, making sure to get the level 5 on the Drizzle and the Umbreon Evolution line. Pikachu is going for on top lane, trying to get someone on top lane side, but Starzak realizing that they have the portal. You can always see the hyperspace portal as an icon. Then you can identify, like, is someone gonna go towards top lane or not? It looks like Italy is going really aggressive in this early game.
Oh, and they catch the Ceruledge right out of position. Hoopa also falling down. Pikachu going down. What a great defensive stand, protecting their own jungle. Sweden looking pretty good to start this one off. Crustle going to try to retreat. They know that the rest of Sweden is likely migrating their way, so they're going to play safe, play on pad. But we have 8-minute birds hitting the central area, and it's Sweden that are going to smother those.
Yeah, Gyarados just about to Magikarp evolved to Gyarados, so he's finally getting this evolution line on top end side. Sweden is getting more exchanges on this Fabulous, getting a lot of XP on their side. Something I want to point out in these kind of games are very competitive. So more than like macro mistakes, if you do small micro mistakes like on top end side, for example, the Zerva stole the Indeedee that you mentioned, or the bunny, but you could have just stunned the enemies and give the Magikarp the farm, so the Magikarp doesn't die. So this small micro mistake led up to them getting top lane farm, etc. etc. Looks like Roman getting top lane side, or potential push on the Eldegoss investment.
4 people up here looking to grab these birds. Gyarados was loading up a bounce, making sure that this Buzzwole was not able to go on in. Great job by Potato, but look at this rotation for Italy, looking to push now the bottom lane. Great tempo play with this Hoopa sending the team down with that hyperspace highway. Both sets of objectives have hit the map. It's a Reg Ice down in this bottom path.
So you can see the oppressive thing about EV evolutions. Steven is level 8, but has its Unite move for the bot lane side. Kitten just got the Unite move as well from the Indeedee. And the Steven is going very aggressive on the backline and just trying to make sure that the Pikachu is not playing the game like last week.
Oh, if they pop the Fairy Frolic, they get the KO on the Hoopa trying to go back, and then they also get it on Crustle, which allowed Sweden to go ahead and rip down, melt that Reg Ice, and Hoopa's just going to try to hold as best as they can, because here comes the Revenant Ren looking to take out the Eldegoss. Eldegoss living on 1 HP in a dream. Are they going to be able to get the Eldegoss? No. Big Cotton Guard able to give themselves just enough shields to survive. And great defensive stand from Sweden, who almost got KO'd in that very pivotal moment.
Yeah, there was the Revenant hyperspace portal. So the moment he activated his Unite move, the Italian eject button, the Unite move, but he got pointed to the base, so he didn't do any damage with it.
Yeah, very unfortunate, but Lecky does go over to Italy, so they trade objectives. They lose the bottom, get the top. That's going to start to try to push into the tier 1, but here comes Gyarados looking to bounce on the Italian Dragon Current as well. But look at this Sylveon in the central area. I don't believe that this Gyarados got the KO that they wanted, but there goes another Revenant Rend and a double KO for Gyarados. And great little play here from Italy, and they're going to be able to get enough points to break if they do choose.
Does the Ceruledge play Amplifier? Because he got his ultimate very, very fast for the top inside. Using the Unite move to push the top inside and getting a front overkill with the Gyarados is very well done. So something about Pikachu is, even if you are like falling behind in XP, when you get your Unite move, you can just get so many combat XP that it doesn't really matter that you lost the early game. The Pikachu is going for the Thunderbolt, Thunder moveset here against the composition like this, maybe saying that he wants just to stay out of range of the Buzzwole and the Italian and the Sylveon, and not going as aggressive with the Voltec build. What do you think about that?
I think it's mostly fine. Obviously, you don't have a big speedster to worry about, diving you to bed. Obviously, the Buzzwall is rough, but here we go. Rings Unbowed, Ultra Swole Slam looking to lay the smackdown on Italy. Here comes a Cotton Cloud Crash looking to heal up the rest of the team. That's going to be a little bit of a refight. Hoopa's sending some Pokemon back to the Pokemon Center. Double KO, though, goes over to Ceruledge. Here comes the Dragon Current. Gyarados looking to get it. Not only getting a KO, but also getting the Regirock, putting it in their handbag. And this is not it. Italy's looking to push, but Umbreon grabs a Citrus Berry, enters back in the fray, but Pikachu laying that Thunderbolt Thunder, providing a ton of value, allowing Italy to break that tier 1 goal zone.
Yeah, and again, even though Team Italy has both goals still up, their levels are looking massive. Getting so many shutdowns, getting so many objectives, getting so many kills. It's looking pretty rough for Sweden right now because although they have the top lane goals broken at the bot lane, now is the time to just start farming up, making sure to get the Unite boost to protect the goal zone. But when that happens, nobody is bot lane, so they just saw the opportunity to go towards bot lane side, go on bot lane side, and then reset to go towards top lane side to protect the goal zone. Very don't
Yeah. They're gonna have to, right? There's an onslaught of Team Italy looking to push this Regieleki in. Great recovery from Sweden, though, but here comes Pikachu. Big Thunderstorm, and that gets a KOs, and from the Thunderstorm, points are gonna rain in because Regieleki goes in. Double KO for Pikachu, and that is a team wipe. And look at this, Galu! Another 50 in the center base from Klaus in this Ceruledge.
Yeah, that's very rough. If we didn't count how many points we are behind right now, it's gonna look pretty rough for Team Sweden. In times like this, the mentality on the players might be a little bit low because they don't know how many points they're behind. So they think they have to get the big buzzer. Obviously right now it's 160 points difference. So getting the Pikachu was very good. But again, like the Pikachu was level 10 right before the top lane fight, and now he's level 12. The combat experience of Pikachu is just insane.
It's pretty good. Did utilize their eject button in that play, so they're not going to have it for a majority of this Rayquaza fight. So something to be aware of if you're Pikachu and whatever positioning you're looking to take. But the Bounce is looking to take position on this Inteleon. Inteleon wisely walks away, heads back into the jungle because there's only 10 seconds left until this Rayquaza, until the final stretch. Ceruledge looking to get some value, and they're going to find this Buzzwall. Buzzwall picks them up, but here's the fight. It's starting early. Revenant Rend is out. They take out the Buzzwall. They take out the Eldegoss. Now they're looking to take out the Sylveon. Sylveon pops the Fairy Frolic. Big Thunderbolt Thunder combo from Pikachu, and just like that, Gatlu, there are 4 members down for Sweden, and Italy looking to take the Rayquaza.
Yeah, very well done by Klaus, just trying to engage on them after the Buzzwall, using his Smackdown to push him into the enemy team, just reacting towards that play and using its Unite move to go on the backline at the same time. I think one issue that double mage compositions have is one singly around the ultimate can one-shot an mage, right? So they have to give us Unite move and the Ceruledge Unite move plus the Pikachu Unite move, so it's going to be very hard for the Eldegoss to sustain the team because she just had a really hard time making sure people are staying alive.
Yeah, we got a minute left. I fear that this might be just some killing the clock at this point. 9:06 to 129. Those points are going to even rain further. There's still some shields on the side of Italy, and this was a statement game, Gatlu. They lost game 1 and a heartbreaker, but they recollected themselves. They took a couple of deep breaths, and they scored likely close to 1,000, might even hit that 1,000-point threshold when it's all said and done. But obviously, they really went to the drawing board, and whatever they wrote down on that whiteboard, I think it worked.
Yeah, if we had a bingo, we would just say bingo on the 1,000 points. 1,000 points is easy for. I think I have never casted a game where the points went above 900, and it looks very strange on the server side because the purple bar is just increasing by so much, and it just looks very dominant. So right now, Team Sweden may just not play the game to refocus, reconnect their thoughts about what happened in this game, and maybe try to redraw, while Team Italy just had a little bit of fun, farming some damage. But yeah, it looks like a very dominant game from Team Italy, scoring 1,100 points to 129.
Yeah, this has been a wonderful game here. A good comeback for Team Italy. Yeah, Klaus, Zervis, and Potato all going to be competing together on Team Unbound in UCS. That's going to be a great core. Obviously, you've seen the value that those three provided, along with FSAL and Kiri on the Crustle and Pikachu. 1-1. We're going to a game 3. We're going to see who's going to have advantage when it comes to this group stage, who can go on to stage 3. This next match, or this next game in this set, is going to be very pivotal for these teams. Look at the summary here, though. Look at these damage numbers, Gotlu. 109k for Klaus on that Sarah Ledge. They really shut down this Buzzwole, though.
Yeah, the Buzzwole only doing 18k damage there because of damaging the Buzzwole as well. It's just pretty rough. Like, if you're a Buzzwole and you win the early game, which they did in the beginning of the game, but you don't extend the lead by being aggressive or like just getting the moments of, because the Buzzwole did play with the team, right? In the beginning, he helped with the jungle, got the double kill, but at some point he just started to fall behind because in the second objective, like you mentioned, Potato got the kill and the objective at the same time. But while that happened, the Buzzwole didn't really have the biggest impact because of the way the characters cross is just very annoying into them. So as you can see, Team Italy had the lead most of the time, but then when they managed to push the regular key, it was just very, very rough.
Yeah, it really was rough. We've seen 2 games of Buzzwole, Gatlu. 2 games of Buzzwole. In neither game did it look like it provided the value that they had imagined when they were making the draft, making their team comp. Do you think it's maybe time to hang up the Buzzwole shoes at this point in the match?
Yeah, maybe hang out the Buzzwole shoes, but maybe Pikachu is like the thing, right? One game Pikachu won, the other game Pikachu won. So maybe these both teams just benefit from playing Pikachu. Although the Pikachu didn't look that great at the beginning of the game, being level 8 and 35 minutes of the game, he got the comeback with his C9 move and just said, okay, I'm a character now, so I'm gonna destroy you.
Yeah, I think Pikachu's one of those Pokemon too that it doesn't necessarily need scaling in that mid game because of that Unite move, right? I mean, we saw in Worlds, teams get a little bit creative with their attackers. I mean, teams, obviously, like Fennel that won, utilizing XP Share Mew. Do you think Pikachu has any potential with that XP Share, knowing the type of moveset that it has, the type of value, regardless of if, it gets online early, with that Unite move, maybe it's an XP Share angle at some points?
So about the thing about Pikachu is, you wanna play XP defenders when the defender plays against double Arondos. In the World Championship, double Arondos was a heavy meta. So if you play against double mage, the defenders on top lane or defender carry in general is not that great. So I think that's one of the reasons they don't wanna go for the pivot on the XP share, because obviously you play against a double mage composition. There it is, the Pikachu first pick. If you lose, you can decide which side you want to be. So Sweden just lost the game, so they choose to be the first pick the Pikachu.
Yeah, first pick Pikachu once again. We saw Italy do it last match. Now Sweden's doing it this match. So we've seen it 3 times now. Both times currently we've seen it win. We'll see if this 3rd time is the charm, and we'll get it a win once again. We're lining up the Buzzwole again. Okay, they are switching away. I was a little worried. I was like, Sarah just still on the board. Maybe we go Sarah Ledge here, but Eldegoss and Umbreon once again. We've seen the same draft. This time it's just kind of switched over.
Ooh, a double Aronda pick from Team Sweden, who is well known to be double attacker heavy composition. So something about this early picks is the basic is still open, right? So I think that Potato knows really well how to play against Garchomp, so picking up the Garchomp against Potato is a state point for Starzak, saying, I'm the Garchomp player, I'm gonna destroy you with your main, and it's gonna be a last pick on the defender and support side, which is something I don't think is that great, because it's always good to have an Aronda picking or a counter pick against the enemy composition, because you see 4 of the characters, but maybe they just have an idea what they want to do, because it looks like they have a heavy flipping composition as well with the left side composition.
Ooh, and last pick, Mew. Pokemon that I saw a ton last night in the Indigo League. Pokemon that the champions ended up playing essentially every single match, and they won every single match. FSOL is going to have their work cut out for them. Obviously, Mew, a skill-intensive Pokemon, but can provide a lot of value. It's very slippery, able to escape a lot of different situations. Taking a look here with what Sweden is building, I love the Blissey, especially into this double all-rounder composition of that Ceruledge and the Garchomp.
Yeah, Busy works very well here. The only issue is gonna be that the Umbreon can steal the shields from the Busy Unite move, but in general it works really well in favor of the Busy. Both compositions look kinda fine. I think that it depends on if the right side composition can snowball, because they have a very hard snowball comp. If the top lane gets destroyed, if the Blaziken gets level 8, he only needs to get level 8 to be strong on the bot lane side. He has great secure, he has great engage potential, great disengage potential, and it's just a character that is very, very powerful. But here in Europe, it's getting last picked almost every game. But this time around, it got second to third pick.
Yeah, I'm always concerned about Buzzwole now, after seeing those first two games, but that's why we play the game. There's maybe the third time is the charm for this Buzzwole to finally get on the winner board. But either way, game number 3, Sweden and Italy. The sides have flipped, the script has flipped, and we have Mew taking that central contested farm with an Electro Ball.
Yeah, Buzzwole getting the top lane side with the Festinger, looking to see if they can get the left side of the bunny, but the Busy is going to be able to secure it. Something about this matchup is Eldegoss is very good into just A-pressing the enemies because they have a double melee composition on top lane, so they can't really walk up towards top lane without getting punished, which is something that is very strong, so Garchomp is just respecting it. And it looks like the Umbreon is losing his focus plan, and at the same time also going towards bot lane, while Gittans is trying to do his best to fight them.
Oh, we have a little bit of a scuffle down here. Sweden now heading all the way down. We have 4 members of Sweden looking to push these basement center Altaria family. Blaziken gonna blaze kick them away. Ceruledge looking to dive on in with that Bitter Blade. Swinub very dangerously low. The Bitter Blade does connect, but it doesn't get the KO onto the tanky Umbreon.
Looks like top lane is also going to push, making sure that Potato is getting his scores again. So I'm curious to see if Potato is going to manage to keep his lead on the top lane side, just making sure that they stay small and taping the Blaziken to get his evolution line. Because currently, how Sweden is playing is just in favor on the bot lane side. I'm trying to get the Pikachu on high level, but as you can see, Pikachu is still level 4, and the Mew is level 5.
Yeah, a little bit of an outnumbering right there. Mew level 5 is always great. You get the ability to switch your moves once you hit that level 5, so that's very important. But another thing that's important is Mew being able to get out of dodge, utilizing the Surf, but are they going to be able to get him? No! Mew goes down to the Electro Ball from the Pikachu. Electro Ball and Electro Ball crime. Overheat, though, for this Blaziken, able to help take down the center Altaria family. And Italy looking pretty good despite losing that Mew.
Yeah, Blaziken instantly rotting towards top lane, knowing that the Ceruledge is bot lane side, because the Umbreon provided vision, and just making sure to let the Garchomp stay small. So something about this top lane break is, the Garchomp is able to get his XP back, but if the Blaziken and the Buzzwole is walking towards both of their farm, the Garchomp is not gonna have a great time, because it looks like nobody's gonna protect it, nobody is really paying attention to the Garchomp. He's still level 5, but the Buzzwole is gonna reach level 9 right now.
Oh, that's massive. Level 9 before the 7-minute mark for your top laner is recipe for success, I would say. And that's not it. They are continually looking for value into the enemy jungle, looking to take down the Blissey. They do. It's Eldegoss with the KO there, and they're not done. They're shopping for the buffs. They're shopping for the enemy farm, but this Regirock has hit the basement path, and Sweden is looking to just start to burn this down. Electro Ball onto the Piloswine, looking for a secure. Is this Mew in the back out? But it's Pikachu getting the secure on the Regirock.
Yeah, Pikachu getting the secure on the Regirock is very great. Klaus being a bit too greedy on the enemy jungle, just not going towards the bot lane side and allowing Team Sweden. Team Sweden is always good at like doing tempo plays on the bot lane side, just trying to get the bot lane objective done, making sure that it's put off the map to get the XP. Having the Regirock XP now, having the Regirock shield, making sure to protect the regular key, but the Blaziken is level 11, and Buzzwole is level 10. But it looks like Buzzwole is just getting one-shotted by the Pikachu. Great catch by the Mamoswine, but it's not over yet. Garchomp is gonna use his Ignite move to make sure to push the enemies away from the goal zone.
Yeah, they got to, right? I mean, you don't want that Regieleki walking on in. The goal zone's already down to 64, so great job. Great defensive stand there for Sweden. They stopped the bleeding because right now it's 201 to 26, and we're not even at the halfway part yet. Italy looking very good. Very big catch, though, like you said, on that Buzzwole. I believe Buzzwole got KO'd by the Pikachu and wasn't even able to utilize their Unite, though. Look at this. Umbreon leaving the goal zone at 1, gets picked up, put down by this Piloswine once again, and they are going to go back to the Pokemon Center. Blissey getting the secure on that KO.
That range on Ice Fang is absurd. This should have not hit, but it still hit because the range is just so powerful. Now Sweden is trying to push towards Scotland side, following the Mamoswine, but the Blaziken is camping in the bush, making sure that they are not able to push, and just getting a huge Blaze kick to overheat. But the bots were using the Eject Bot Smackdown, superpowering them on top of each other, and getting the double kill.
Oh, look at this. Italy full sending into the Flux Zone, trying to march their way to this tier 2 goal, and they get almost all of their points in. Piloswine here, but they're going to be taking an onslaught from this Buzzwole. Buzzwole sending them to the Pokemon Center, but Pikachu is going to combat that with a Thunderstorm of their own. Buzzwole not done, laying the smackdown all over Team Sweden, and they're not done. 4 members have gone down here for Sweden. It's just this Piloswine trying to hold the door, but they can't do it. There's too much power for Italy right now.
Yeah, Buzzwole finally shining in these games, just trying to do big combos. Even though all the abilities went on the Buzzwole still survive. But looks like Blaziken is gonna fall. A level 30 Charter is just something right now that Team Sweden needs. But the point lead is just not increasing, right? They're still behind by over 280 points.
Yeah, big point lead, big level lead, but that is starting to get cut into by the Bitter Blade of the Ceruledge and the electricity of the mascot of the Pikachu, who have now ticked into level 12 respectively. Mamoswine now finally online, looking to try to zone the team out, but Umbreon has found their way into the back line. Not only that, but they found their way to secure the Regirock. They put that in their handbag, and there's a huge team fight breaking out. Thunderstorm's gonna hit the map, and some of these KOs are being found. Eldegoss and Umbreon going down in the fray, but Buzzwole is here to return the favor, looking to take them down. 3 members go to the Pokemon Center for Sweden.
Yeah, if Team Sweden would have got the objective, it would have probably been a fun exchange. Although they only managed to get the defender and the support in that fight, they still get some kills. Now they have to make sure that the Buzzwole is not taking the entire farm with the Blaziken. So potentially catching out the Blaziken, like the Buzzwole right there, would be very huge for them. The Blaziken is going very aggressive, so if the team is actually showing up, they would have been able to kill them, but it looks like they're just gonna ignore it and try to kill the Eldegoss on top side, which is probably not the right decision right now, because currently the Blaziken was a big fish.
Here we go. You have Kitans looking for a goal in that tier 1 zone. They find the resistance of Italy looking to protect. They have all of their goal zones up, so they are having great positioning, great map control right now. They're just monitoring where Sweden is looking to enter in to this Rayquaza pit. There's 30 seconds until the final stretch. This is game 3. This is for all the marbles in this game of the group stages. I'm excited to see what this brings, but Sweden's going to have to bring the pain.
Yeah, I'm looking to see if the Mamoswine engages in the Umbreon. It just happened right now with the Bull Tackle. Getting a 3-man unit move on the Blissey unit move into the Mamoswine, into one-shotting the Blaziken and getting the Umbreon as well. Holy, that was a great combo. Right now they're going to try to start the objective. So they're using its unite move, but missing everyone. Pikachu using the Bull Tackle into Ice Fang, trying to flip the objective and trying to flip the script.
Yeah, we're gonna go. We're gonna see it. Is it gonna be the Thunder? Is the Mew? The huge solar beam! Holy cow! What an incredible play from FSol! Huge Mew secure, and they saved the day for Italy.
Saving the day for Italy. Yeah? Just winning the game, and Team Sweden is going to be out of this group stage and the group stage 1. But there's still the group stage 2, which they can play to qualify for group stage 3. But FSAR just destroying the dream for Team Sweden and carrying the Team Italy on its back. That was a very great and fancy engage by the enemies, like Blizzy so did not move into Bombersman, pushing everyone together and then the Pikachu cleaning up. That was very fancy, but Mew saving the day with the Solar Beam, getting the secure. The Pikachu was just slightly off with the secure in the Electro Ball, and Mew just carrying the Team Italy on its back.
What an incredible engage from Sweden that falls ever so short. What a crazy comeback that would have been, Gotlu. It looked like they were on their heels, on the back of the Ceruledge and the Mamoswine engage. You really thought that they caught the crucial components of Italy to prevent them from being able to even get to the Rayquaza, but Mew with a hope, prayer, and not only that, but a big Solar Beam saves the day. And Italy taking the win, taking game number 3, and while the scoreboard shows a huge win, it was much closer than we had thought.
Yeah, the Mew was definitely. I think that the Mew player was like its comfort pick. I didn't think his other attackers were like his comfort because of the way he was playing. He was much more aggressive on the Mew, higher level on the games as well, and he just had a really great Mew game. And at the end, being able to secure it with the Solar Beam ticks, just a great end for the attacker player for Team Italy, showing off why Team Italy picked him up for this year.
100%, and another 1,000 point game for Italy. Not sure if points are a tiebreaker in any situation, but if they are, they're surely going to break some of the ties with those 2 games that they did play today. Looking at the KOs, Buzzwole finally getting the win that they deserve. Potato, MVP of the match, 12 KOs, 12 assists. Not only that, but some great early game from them allowed Italy to put together a nice early lead. And then Klaus, 101k damage, but the hero of the show, FSAL on the Mew, 97k damage, but the number that I'm more impressed by, only taking 21 in return.
Yeah, that was crazy by FSAL. I think Kittens also had a very good Ceruledge game. A well-known attacker player, knowing him for the attacker, but seeing him on the Ronda. But he also tanked 100k damage, right? 100k damage on a Ronda is kind of crazy because you have the Bitter Blade, you can heal, so you can stay a bit more alive. So that was a very fun match. Again, like it's a best of 3. It was a 2-1. Very close late game fight, and Team Sweden's engage was just so good to watch, right? It's so sad that they lost because it was such a fancy engage to just end the game because the Blaziken was level 15 and he had a 30-second death timer. But the Mew just carrying the team on its back. It's a really great game from Team Italy.
Yeah, great game from Team Italy and a very impressive push there from Sweden at the end. But don't go anywhere, folks. We have more games for you today. On deck, we are going to have Austria versus Belgium. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this. Welcome back, Pokemon Unite trainers. We are back, day number 3, Unity European Cup, presented by Unity Clash, sponsored and powered by Nouns Esports. And what an incredible last set we had, Galu. I mean, action start to finish, and if this next matchup between Belgium and Austria is anything like that last one we saw, we are in for a treat.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the country versus country is such a cool format. Just watching the countries battle against each other, dreams are coming true, dreams are getting destroyed. Team Sweden is out from the stage 1 right now, and Team Italy still has to advance against Team UK for the first or second seed. So we will see later on after that match how it goes. But I'm really looking forward to see Team Belgium against Austria, especially because Belgium, like you heard about the Belgium and Netherlands things that it might get banned. So hopefully Pokemon Unite decides to not ban them from the Pokemon Unite servers. There's a petition going on for Belgium. So if you want to sign it up, make sure to go on the link that we will post on the Twitch chat. But for Team Belgium, we have these amazing players who are representing their countries today. TB as the team captain, GPAD, OTP, which is called Globe as well, John Mido, FTS support, and Roxas.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Belgium has. Yeah, like you said, make sure to sign the petition if you want to support Belgium and I believe the Netherlands from getting the game removed in their country. So hopefully Pokemon Unite as a whole will reconsider. But this team of Belgium, they are going to be playing against Austria. And we saw Austria lose yesterday 2-0 versus Greece, or it might have been day 1, I can't recall. But Austria, a pretty strong team themselves. Let's go ahead and present these players, Gatlu.
So we have Nihat as a team captain, ex-senpai, Tron, Jacob, Burn It Down, and Otto. Very strong players. They did got 2-0 against Greece, so they have to manage to stay on their footings against Team Belgium, because I believe Belgium also won one set. So I'm looking forward to see if Belgium or Austria are going to win this set. Either on a Pikachu ban and Servilage. What do you think about this?
I mean, we saw Pikachu, right? We saw it win those first 2 games, falling barely short in that game 3. I think it's worth the ban. There's a lot of ways you can play it, and you see the immediate value that it provides early in the match, and then once it gets their Unite move. But another thing that provides a ton of value is that Umbreon, and Belgium taking that with their first pick.
Something to mention as well, Belgium won against Greece 2-1, and Austria lost 2-0 against Greece. So let's see if Team Austria is gonna show their footings against Team Belgium. But what I love about this pick right now is they picked the Zacian and the Hooper, and the combination of having a really massive top lane side, or potentially having the Zacian in the central area, against the Umbreon. So right now, both teams already have really strong team compositions, because Umbreon, you can play it anywhere, you can play it with anyone. So it looks like Belgium is going to decide to play the Leafeon, maybe trying to stop the Zacian from getting ahead in the game, and just stalling the early game as much as possible, being really oppressive. So it looks like Lucario is going towards the top lane side maybe, because Burn It Down is a well-known top laner, and Otto is going to the central area with Zacian. I myself also like to play central area on Zacian, because I think it's very strong when you get to your level 5, because you enable your crits, and you can have a really oppressive game.
Absolutely. They pair it with the Mamoswine with this Lucario. Kind of like that. Kind of love the Hoopa pick as well. We're going to see how Belgium wants to combat this, though. They're lining up this Inteleon. And, Kyle, I don't know about this Buzzwole. This is the 4th straight game we're seeing it. With things like Blaziken still on the table, I'm just wondering what these teams really are seeing in this Buzzwole pick.
So the theory is that Buzzwole is very good in the Zacian in the early game, but the Zacian is not the top laner. If you see that Lucario is there, I wonder why they picked the Buzzwole. I agree with the Blaziken pick. If you can play the Blaziken, and then the Leafeon ganks the Blaziken on top lane side, or potentially bot lane side, then this can be alright as well, right? Because I see Blaziken and Serenade as is like scaling around us, while Buzzwole is early game orientated, and then late game he's gonna fall off a little bit. But yeah, picked up the Venusaur, which enables the Buzzwole to be actually a good pick here.
I love Venusaur. I think it's underrepresented. Those solar beams paired with the Verdant Anger, obviously you see the energy amplifier on it. If you utilize your Verdant Anger and have a solar beam with that's boosted from that sludge bomb and the energy amplifier, it does massive amounts of damage, especially if the team is clumped up in those big team engages. It's essentially a delete button. There's not a whole lot of Pokemon that can really survive the onslaught of damage that that thing provides. And I don't know about you, I love that pick. I'm having massive amounts of success with that Pokemon on ladder. I think it's something crazy like a 90% win rate, at least myself. I love it. That might be my bias though.
Yeah, I totally agree with the ultimate. If you are not paying attention, so something that my teammate said, we were talking a little bit about the Venusaur, we were like, the Venusaur actually works because teams are not paying attention to it. You're just gonna one-shot the entire team, and it's like, oh, the game is just over. But I might disagree a little bit about the Venusaur pick. As a last pick, picking up the Venusaur against the composition that deletes the Venusaur with this type shot and things like they have really strong early game and bot lane, like jungle and top lane, right? So why do we pick up the Venusaur on the bot lane side? So I'm curious to see if your prediction is gonna be right for this game, or if my prediction is gonna be right that the Venusaur is not gonna have the biggest impact. Because currently Venusaur is being really oppressive on bot lane. They didn't manage to get the farm, but they did manage to make the Umbreon use the XP and the focus point. When this happens, the top lane is gonna pressure with the Leafeon. You always see the bump off gank as a Leafeon player. Something you wanna consider when you play top lane as well, to leave the top lane and to take the Bolters, because these Bolters give you so much XP. Quick side note, the Bolters give almost as much XP or as much XP as the early game Indigis on the bot lane side.
Yeah, I love the strategy of leave them, get some extra XP, try to get online as fast as possible. Bulbasaur's still a Bulbasaur. They get this last little bit back farm. They might get evolved in the Ivysaur form, but 850 birds coming to fruition. 3-on-3 in the top half. Buzzwole looking for a huge engage right off the bat, but they're going to get combated by the Zacian, who's boosting their attacks with their Eos energy. Good onslaught, good defense, but no Pokemon going down in that firefight.
Very sneaky from the Eldegoss, having the red buff and just keep attacking constantly the Zacian, right? They're not really paying attention to the Eldegoss because he's auto-attacking him from the bush, but this Eldegoss is doing so much damage on the enemies as well.
I love Eldegoss in the early game. It's my main Pokemon I play. I played it more than anything else, and I just love seeing its representation in the competitive meta that we have right now, because it kind of validates my feelings about how strong the Pokemon is, and you see exactly how you want to play it, putting pressure on the opponent early game. An 8-minute bird's coming to fruition in the center area. We're going to see if this Leafeon in the Drizzile can get online.
Yeah, the Eldegoss did manage to get some of the farm on the top lane side. I think it was an even contest of the Swabbles. Both of the teams managed to get some of the Swabbles. Razorleaf being a great secure. But down going for the Power Punch build to have a bit more secure with the Zacian. It looks like Team Belgium is pressuring the top lane side and getting a snapshot across the map.
What an incredible snipe shot follow up from this Inteleon. Zacian has hit it. It is a Sacred Sword. They're looking to take down this Buzzwole, but these snipe shots are hitting the back line, finding value in zoning Austria from being able to enter further and further advancing into this fight. Keeping them topped off, though, is this Eldegoss looking to frontline, looking to knock the team up with those Cotton Spores, keeping the CC pressure on. Bottom lane, though, we have this Piloswine and this Umbreon 1v1ing down there, but huge engaged Buzzwole taking out the Hoopa.
We talked about the Buzzwole so much today, right? This Buzzwole is a very aggressive Buzzwole. Especially going to double Sacred Sword on the Leafeon, managing to get the Leafeon, but the Buzzwole using the Smackdown. Super power to secure the kill on the Zacian. I love that the Buzzwole is so aggressive. Like, Tibia knows that he needs to play aggressive when he plays Buzzwole. Because if he doesn't, the character just doesn't really have any usages. So currently they did destroy the regular key, but they're trying to destroy the pet, not make a bad overcap on top inside, and maybe potentially trying to use the regular key as a bait to invade the enemy jungle and go towards bot lane side. The Zacian is looking pretty rough, 0 points. not even having his Unite move, even though he already started in the central area. It's looking rough.
Yeah, it's looking rough because there is in Leafeon looming in the tall grass. They do have their Unite move. They have that Emerald 2-step. They utilize it, and it's the Umbreon that gets the secure. But Belgium looking really strong. Great play there, and now they're going to advance towards this tier 1 goal. Buzzwell getting another stack in. Umbreon getting 30. Eldegoss getting another 30 in as well. And they can elect to go ahead and break this. Another 5 comes in before the overcap of about 20 points. And right now, Belgium 185 to Austria 7. And that is a problem when you have a Hoopa and they haven't been able to hold their goal zones.
Something to note on the Zacian is, when you play Zacian, you always want to like generally boost the auto attack when you fight, because you boost the auto attack, the 4th auto attack gives you cooldown reduction on your abilities. It's just 1 second or 0.5 seconds, but the Zacian doesn't do that. So every time he engages, he doesn't have to boost the auto attack to engage, or use his boosted auto attack, and he's getting punished. And this Buzzwell is getting like kills after kills. Trying his best to just carry the team on its back, using the superpower, and putting the triple kill on the spectrum as well.
They just keep going. They keep advancing. They keep going. There's another one. Big superpower smackdown combo. That's a full-piece chicken nugget and a penta. They're looking for a 6 now, Galu. Are they going to get it on the Zacian? No. Big resident guard is able to protect it, but the damage is done. The Buzzwall is 12.
Okay, maybe we need to talk a little bit about this Buzzwell thing, because it didn't look that great at the previous set, and now it looks just really dominant. So Buzzwell is a very good pick into Zacian, because you can make him stay small, and every time Zacian dies, he loses his points, right? So something about Zacian as well, when you die, you do like you lose more points than normal people, like normal Pokemon, and if you execute an enemy, the enemy drops more points as well.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the things that these former EX have to pay attention to, is how much Eos energy you have, and it makes not getting KO'd that much more important. But Austria looking to onslaught this T1 goal zone. They're going to get some of their points in. Nice little play there. Leave it at 34. They're going to get the 30 in. No. Another 1 point comes in. Here comes the Verdant Anger from the Venusaur, but they get KO'd before they're able to onslaught Belgium. And Mamoswine picking it up, putting it down, trying to get this Eldegoss down. They take to the sky. Cotton Cloud Crash trying to heal up this Umbreon, but Umbreon goes down to this Lucario. Lucario's charging up the power-up punch, trying to get towards this goal zone, but Mamoswine gonna Ice Fang this Eldegoss, keep them at bay.
Very good kill by the Lucario. Getting the shot on the Leafeon was very important. Like I said before, the Venusaur is a fine pick, but against a Leafeon, Inteleon plus Buzzwell, it is very hard to play on the Venusaur, because you cannot really walk up, and the Eldegoss just manages. If you play Venusaur, it's very great with double mages, because you can like poke them, keep poking them, but there's no double mage, so every time the Venusaur uses Solar Beam, the Eldegoss just uses Polar Buffs to heal the team up.
Yeah, you kind of have to have that execute damage, so you have to have that follow-up, and it just doesn't seem like Austria has had that right now. Here comes Zacian looking to take down the Eldegoss, chunks them down pretty deeply, but doesn't find the KO that they were looking for. Top path, though, 13 seconds until Regieleki spawns. We have Austria making their way towards this T1 goal zone. Big Ice Fan from Mamoswine going to give them some upbeats, but Buzzwell is able to retreat, able to get themselves out of danger and into the safety of that tier 2 pad. However, Austria looking to take down the Regieleki, put some pressure on Belgium nearing this final stretch.
Another small mistake here on top lane side when they got the Regieleki is they didn't give the last hit to Zacian to get the points. Just like small things like this make it way easier to play the Zacian. So if we look at the late game fights, Belgium played a really early game oriented composition, so the late game fight is not as strong as Austria's team composition. Austria made sure to farm, get some combat XP, so we just stick to level 14 Venusaur. I think Austria is in favor on this team fight. So what Belgium has to do is pay close attention to the Leafeon, to not be able to one-shot the Venusaur, and if the Leafeon one-shots the Venusaur and the Umbreon engages on the Zacian, they can stall the fight, and stalling the fight is good for Belgium.
You have to be wary of where these solar beams are going. Here we go. Rings are unbound. This Rayquaza is getting the party started. Here comes the Verdant Anger. Here comes the secure. It is Venusaur! Venusaur getting a double KO, getting the Rayquaza and Austria making their way downtown. That is a clean team wipe, Gotlu.
Okay, you mentioned it in the beginning of the game that the Venusaur is gonna do that. I might retake what I said about Venusaur. It is a great Pokemon, but if the Leafeon manages to one-shot the Venusaur, this might have not happened. But they didn't pay attention to the Rayquaza. Austria just saw the moment. Nobody's the Rayquaza, so we're just gonna flip it.
I mean, grip it, rip it, flip it, get the burgers in. It's burger time for Austria. They have taken a massive score lead. 40 seconds left, though, Gotlu. The game's not over. Belgium's going to have to make their way towards these goal zones. They're going to try to get a nice 20 points in, but another Burning Acres hits the delete button. The Venusaur right now, they are on fire.
Yeah, the Venusaur is surely on fire. Maybe getting a quadra kill with the Solar Beam, potentially executing the Inteleon, and then Lucario is just using its Snap move to get movement speed and dealing some damage. Looking to score some points, there might be a chance that it's going to be another 1000 game.
Very close to it. 5 seconds left. They still have some points in. They still have some shields. There they go. Austria taking this game number 1 in surprising fashion. And wow, what an onslaught there at the end. The flip was the call. Not 1,000 points, but very close to it. Looking at these KOs, Venusaur, MVP, Nyat, Nihat, 7 KOs. A lot of those in that last team fight here.
Yeah, something to like always talk about these late game compositions, right? Belgium decided to go for a composition that is very good in the early game. You saw it in the early game. You like the Leafeon just completely took over the early game, secured the objectives with the ultimate, and just being able to do tons amount of damage. The boss did get the pentakill as well, right? At some point, he just got the pentakill in the mid game, but they destroyed both goal zones, and Belgium wasn't paying close attention to the farm, to the Swablu timers, to the jungle, to the DDs on top lane, on bot lane. So Austria just took the advantage to get some shutdowns by enemies overextending, but also farming, and making sure to farm in the late game fight. Because their late game fight is much stronger than Belgium's late game fight. It's much harder for Belgium to play the late game fight because they have early game characters that fall off in the late game, like the Leafeon and the Buzzwole. While Austria has strong characters like the Zacian and the Venusaur, who just decided to flip the objective and flip the script.
They absolutely flipped the script. That was incredible. That's everything that I wanted and more. Speechless. I love Venusaur. I think more teams should play it. Like you said, though, I think it is very niche and you need to be aware of what type of value it has. And I think you said it perfectly. If Leafeon was able to jump on it, it wasn't. That's game over. But Venusaur found the value that they needed. I really think that you have to be very careful around those speedsters and be very mindful that they don't get the flank. And it just didn't seem like Leafeon was able to do that really at any point in the match. I think they only did like 30k damage total. So not really getting the value in that late game that you wanted out of your big speedster engage.
So the interesting thing about this matchup is, right, Greece and Austria. Greece 2-0 Austria. Belgium versus Greece. Belgium 1-1 against Greece. Austria needs that win, right? They lost 2-0 against Greece. So what I'm curious about is what happens if Austria beats Belgium 2-0, right? Then it's gonna be a battle between Belgium and Greece. But I think if Austria is managing to 2-0 Belgium, they're gonna go through, potentially.
Holy, I'm excited. I mean, if that's game one, I'm excited to see how Belgium hits the ground running in game number 2. They're going to need to. They got off to an amazing start, right? There's just kind of like that little bit of a slip up in that later game stage, and then obviously at the Rayquaza, but they played a pretty dang good game up until that point. It obviously comes down to a flip, but when you have that much damage from something like that Venusaur, it's going to be really hard to get what you're looking if you don't focus that down.
Yeah, compared to the last time when Sweden was doing the Rayquaza, they didn't really have that many secure potential, right? Like we talked about the Electro versus Secure, but they had Zacian Unite move, they had what Solar Beam Unite move, they had the Brandon Anger from Venusaur. So it was like a 70 to 30% chance that Belgium is gonna get it. Right? So flipping is always good if you have the advantage, especially if you have characters like Zacian. So I talked about TB's Zacian, right? I wonder why Austria decided to ban out the Eldegoss and not the Zacian from the Team Belgium, because Belgium has such a repressive Zacian as well. So maybe they have a strategy against that.
Yeah, very, very curious indeed. Senpai gonna grab that Umbreon. Jakob gonna grab the Hoopa in return, so very strong early core. But look at this, Scotlu. 2 former EX Pokemon. You got the Zacian, and now you have the Ho-Oh, and then you're pairing that along with this Armarouge.
Yeah, very, very strong characters all over the place. Armarouge was banned most of the time throughout the day, right? So I'm curious to see how the Armarouge is going to perform this game. We picked up the Sylveon and not a Buzzwole. What is going on? You are just loving the Buzzwole right now.
I mean, this is the 5th straight game. This is the 5th game we've seen, and every single one of them have had a Buzzwole. It has not fared too well in the win category so far. It's 1 in 3. It provided a lot more value last game than I believe that it provided in any of the first 3 games. Obviously, we saw the Penta KO in that one, but I don't know. It feels like it's missing something. We'll see how it fares here. But the thing I'm worried about, if I'm Belgium, you need to make sure you get off to a good lead here, because the way these former EX Pokemon work and the way that they're utilized, you need to be mindful of the Eos energy that you hold, because if you get into a point where you're down points and you have points that you need to make up, when you have characters that absorb it with their abilities and their passives, or their Unite moves in Ho-Oh's case, you could find yourself being a little bit short on change.
How I would describe Unity European Cup is having countries play against each other, and some of the countries, I think they're just picking comfort picks. They're not really drafting compositions that make too many sense. For example, like the Hoopa, right, with the double mage. Maybe the Blizzy would have been better with the candle to protect them from the enemies, but just comfort picks. Just picking characters that they think they're really good at, that they play really good, and it kind of makes sense against the enemy composition. So I do think that maybe if they play the Hyper Voice, the Seaver is going to do, like the Candle is going to do more damage. So I'm curious to see, because the combination of Umbreon's 4-play plus Ultimate plus Candle Ultimate just one-shots people, right? 4-play into 4-play into Unite move into Candle, gunning them. So I'm curious to see if they get a great engage. But again, like just possible, like the 5th time in a row. I'm curious to see how he's going to perform in this game. And if the strange thing about Ho is, teams have to identify that it is actually fine to die doing a team fight, because the Ho can revive you. Sometimes it's bad if you get comeback, like if you are too high in XP, you don't really want to give the comeback XP, right? So I'm curious to see how they perform. It's going to be the Zacian jungle against the Blaziken. Very strange formations today, right? Like normally we see the Zacian on top and side of the Blaziken in the jungle, because it's very good into them. But it looks like the Torchic is gonna play against the Buzzwole by they're going for a one-buff kick on top inside with the Sylveon.
Yeah, a little bit of a split jungle there, giving some of that to Litwick, some of it to Sylveon, and Sylveon getting immediate value with that red buff in its top lane, helping get the KO onto the Torchic. Torchic goes to our Pokemon Center, some points go in. 10 points Buzzwole, that's a stack. Getting a secure on that Bunny, that's a stack. That is not what you want to see if you're Belgium. You don't want to see a stacked up Buzzwole.
So as you see right now, right, Auto is level 4.5. Then Blue Buff XP got nerfed. So even if you do the splitting jungle, you will not get as much XP anymore. It is probably not worth it anymore to take the Blue Buff and just try to contest the mid lane DD. But he's just trying to get his level 5 safely by taking the Blue Buff while the top lane is getting pressured. TB is going for the Mythical build, getting 1 KO, but in return they're getting the Zacian, which is favorable for them, even though both of the junglers just died. Because the Buzzwole is very strong on top lane side, and if the Zacian is not taking top lane side, this Buzzwole is just gonna get very, very
Yeah, they're already level 6, but here comes the Armarouge throwing the armor cannon. It's a big amount of burst damage from that Pokemon. One of the stronger releases that we've seen in a little bit. Not completely overpowered, but a lot of teams are picking it. A lot of teams are seeing the value that it provides. Finally, we have Eevee getting online as the Umbreon, and this is a flamethrower Chandelure. Obviously a Lampent right now, but once it gets evolved, it will be the Chandelure. Here in the middle path, though, Armarouge trying to take down. We have a firefight trying to take down the Sylveon. The Sylveon going to go down. They are getting frozen by ice, but no, it's the Piloswine holding on, or sorry, the Swinub, and now the Zacian follows up along with this Buzzwole, though. Buzzwole getting a KO on the Piloswine, and great follow there. Lampent getting a KO.
Yeah, Buzzwole just being very good in position, specifically if you play the Metaclaw build. It's very good. Metaclaw can only block the projectile from... I mean, it can block the projectile from Mystic Fire technically, but the one thing they want to do is block the Flamethrower from the candle, but I think TB's comfort pick is just picking up the Metaclaw. But because Zacian died, he has 0 points, so it's going to be a little bit hard for him fighting his team fights.
We may have a Wish Umbreon as well. I think it might be a foul play Wish if I'm seeing that correctly. Not necessarily a standard thing that we see, especially with you have a Hoopa heal. So very curious to see the reasoning behind that for Austria. But we do have Sylveon not quite ticked into their Unite move just yet, but 4 members of Austria down here looking to melt this Registeel. Buzzwole doing a great job keeping the Piloswine at bay, making sure that they're not able to walk in and get the secure. Umbreon gets it for Austria, and now this Regieleki getting chipped down by Belgium. We have the Fairy Frolic, and it's Sylveon getting that secure there for Austria. Huge engage from them.
That was very sad. The Blaziken was charging his overheat, but the objective survived 1 HP, so the Sylveon managed to get the objective and the kill at the same time. However, they got a 1 overcap, and they managed to get the top 8 farm. So again, you want to look at the late game fight. How is the late game fight going to be played out from Belgium, and how is it going to be in Austria? This time around, Austria actually has a very balanced late game fight composition as well, because the cannon provides so much damage with the Flamethrower.
Oh, we have the Flamethrower on Ho-Oh. We have the Fire Spin on Ho-Oh as well. So very interesting build that we see there. The Flamethrower will help. I believe we saw a Curse Bangle, so maybe limit the healing that Umbreon and Hoopa will be able to provide. However, birds have hit the map. Piloswine trying to take them. Umbreon pushing them away with the foul play, and the Sylveon looking to engage as well with the Mystical Fire.
So something you saw from Team UK yesterday was that they actually tried to push the pad at this time because they are stronger than the enemies. I think Team Austria is trying to play it safe at this point of the game to not throw the game because they are a bit scared of the obviously EX Pokemons. But it could have been a very good time to push the pad, just forcing Unite moves and destroying the pad. But it's just a quick side note. However, the objective is going to start on bot lane side. They have 2 Upas, so they can manage to send 1 person bot lane and 4 people top lane or 2 people top lane, trying to pressure the top lane side while bottling the people on bot lane side.
Yeah, Hoopa does have access to the Unite move. Obviously, with both Tier 1 goal zones, obviously has access to the Hyperspace Highway as well. Belgium looking to defend this Tier 1 goal. Buzzwole getting a nice 14-point dunk, and Sylveon also taken to the onslaught. They can push this because Hoopa could always bail them out with the Unite move, so they're going to continue pushing. We got a big skirmish down here. Ho-Oh got the Fire Spin on him. This is going to be very curious. Oh, there it is. Hoopa's bringing the Hyperspace hole down. The rings are unbound, and this Regirock is getting pounded by Austria. They're going to take that off the map, and we still have a Regieleki to boot in this top lane while Belgium is looking to gear up for it.
Yeah, Buzzwole being the strongest member of the game right now, being level 12, close to level 12. Belgium is trying to one-shot the Regieleki with the Zacian and securing it as well. Managing to get the objective and potentially fighting them, but the Sylveon is managing to at least fight back and kill the Zacian. However, they have the Ho-Oh, so the Ho-Oh is revolving the Zacian to make sure that they're able to push the back.
Ho-Oh looking to rekindle the flame, getting some Pokemon back onto the field, but look at this. Burn It Down is looking to burn everybody on Belgium down. The Buzzwole getting a ton of value. Ho-Oh doesn't have any money, so they're going to try to get on back. Buzzwole, they are on fire right now. Great job by Umbreon throwing a wish on top of them, making sure they stay upright and not sent back to the Pokemon Center. However, Belgium got the objective. They got Lecky in, but they weren't able to break the goal zone, which has not really helped this Hoopa keep them at bay and keep the tempo that Austria wants to play with slowed down.
So this is something I wanted to mention because you were asking earlier. The Umbreon is playing the Wish because it's very good with the Savior and Mystic Fire because it wants to engage, and the Buzzword to keep it alive. Because the Hyperspace Portal does provide healing, but it only provides healing from the base and not during the team fight. So like as you can see, the Buzzword is just staying alive with the Wish.
Buzzwell staying upright. All the wishes in the world from this Umbreon, like you said. 25 seconds until this basement objective spawns. Austria making their way downtown. They are absolutely walking fast, especially this Hoopa trying to get back towards the safety of their base. They're going to use the hyperspace hull, refill the tank, and they're going to re-enter this fight because 5 seconds, it will enter the fray. Zacian looking to get position, though.
Yeah, this objective is very important for both teams. If you look at the levels, both levels are looking pretty fine. Sometimes, like right now, we take to level 13, the Zacian is almost level 13. And this objective can be very pitiful for Belgium and Austria. Austria is not going for the aggressive side right now. You notice it from the game, like from the game style, that they're trying to play it as safe as possible. They don't want to lose right now. They just want to win 2-0 and win the game. However, the Belgium wants to win this as well, so they are going really aggressive on the Umbreon.
Yeah, here we go. Rings are unbound. Hoopa's bringing him in. Blaziken goes down in this firefight. Uh-oh, trying to keep the team upright with these fire spins. 2 members down. Make it 3 as Zacian goes down, but the flame has been rekindled. 2 Pokemon coming back to the fray. And now Ho-Oh is getting targeted. Armarouge goes back to the Pokemon Center once again. Ho-Oh is down, and Belgium is on their heels. However, Blaziken and Mamoswine looking to stay upright. Blaziken trying to dash on away. They are able to, but Sylveon is tracking them down. Meanwhile, Austria looking to burn down this big Rayquaza. Who's gonna have it? Zacian has entered back in the fray. Are they gonna be able to get in? Great zoning. Buzzwole holds them up. Oh, Sovereign Sword doesn't get popped. This Rayquaza's going down, and it's Umbreon.
It survived with 1 HP and almost didn't die, but Austria is managing to get the secure on the Rayquaza. Although Ho revived 2 people in the team fight, Buzzwole was just spanking them. This is probably the Buzzwole game that was the most consistent about trying to play safe but also managing to play aggressive. So very well done by Bonatown. The game is not over yet. They are trying to score their points, but it looks like the Armarouge is gonna fall and TD is gonna fall as well. Just showcasing that, okay, you're not an X Pokemon immunization. I am the X. I am Buzzwole. I am very strong.
So strong. It may not be a legendary, but it is an Ultra Beast. It is getting a ton of value in this game, and now instead of 1 win and 3 losses, it is going to add another in with 15 seconds left. There is nothing that Belgium can do to get back on the board because Austria taking this set 2-0.
Yeah, Belgium and 1 second. I think, Belgium and Greece right now are back like head to head, right? Because it's like a 3-man tie with Greece, Austria, and Belgium. I think Austria 2-0 in Belgium just manages them to put them on the top spot of the group. So I'm curious to see who is going to not make it. Is it going to be Greece or is it going to be Belgium? Something I talked as well about, I think Auto is a very good Candle player. His positioning was very good. His flamethrowers were on point. He didn't do that much damage, but just being able to do consistent damage with the flamethrower and being a menace with the lockdown, it's just gonna be very good for the team. So very well done by the team. Shoutouts to the Umbreon that is also providing so much healing with the Wish. And nice try, Belgium. They get 0'd by Austria. GG's.
Yeah, 9 assists and 11 KOs from this Buzzwole, but it was Belgium that was trying to call 911 to keep themselves upright. Ho-Oh could not revive the team enough. Only 2 Pokemon rekindled in that team fight. But even then, the Pokemon that came back went immediately back to the Pokemon Center, where they had to watch as Austria just got the Rayquaza, got what they needed, and took this set 2-0. 72k from this Buzzwole though. And look how much damage that not only the Umbreon absorbed, but also this Sylveon taking 50k, healing 24, and then 47k healed from the Umbreon.
Yeah, we just got information from the production team that Belgium lost and Austria and Greece are moving towards stage 3. However, the way stage 1 works is even if you lose, you're gonna move towards stage 2, where only one team can move to stage 3 from the teams that are losing from stage 1. So the dream is not over for Belgium yet, but Austria's dream is kept alive with the 2-0.
Yeah, they rekindled that flame. They needed the 2-0. They got it. And on the back of some incredible plays, the Venusaur, the Buzzwole, I mean, Pokemon that we kind of doubted in the moment, they got it done. Super excited for them. Wow, what an incredible 2 sets that we had. I am going to be saying goodbye here, but the games aren't over. There's still another 2 sets to be had, so don't go anywhere, folks. But this has been the Unity European Cup presented by Nouns Esports. Obviously, big shout outs to the sponsors. Nouns, a little bit about them, where the community drives the game, from grassroots tournaments to premier events like Riptide, an event that's near and dear to my heart here in my home state. One of my best friends runs the tournament, so it's really cool to kind of see the full circle of Nouns Esports being involved in the Unite scene. So hopefully their involvement never ends. I love watching their involvement with these types of tournaments, and getting to be part of them has been such an honor. It's been such an incredible day of games, not only today, but yesterday, getting to cast with you, Gatlu. Always love having you on the desk with me. Just the insight that you're able to provide. It's so great. Warms my heart to be part of this.
Yeah, it was very fun to be able to cast with you as well. Just getting some insights from your casting as well. It was very fun. Very good games as well. I just love watching competitive Pokemon Unite, and we are able to cast some competitive Unite games. It was very fun. But we're gonna head to a break now, and then it's gonna be Team UK versus Team Italy.
Hello, hello. Welcome back. We are here for the Unity European Cup 2024. I am Mad Magical, joined in by Spartan Tano. We are taking over the broadcast for the rest of the day. Tano, how are you doing so far? Are you ready for some Pokemon Unite?
Oh god, yes I am, buddy. We've already had some amazing games from what I've already seen. Good old Steel Agent Kyle and then also Gatlu being amazing on those ones, but I'm excited for these next two coming up, man.
Me too, because we already had some exciting games Friday, yesterday, on Saturday. Today we've had some quite some exciting games that we got to just witness with Belgium versus Austria that ended up deciding that Group A for us. It was Belgium falling, unfortunately, to Austria in a 2-0 fashion. But congratulations to Austria and to Greece as they are going to move on to stage 3 while Belgium still has to battle back in the elimination stage in stage 2.
I'm quite surprised at that though, because Belgium played so well on Friday when we were casting them. So well done to Austria to come and take that 2-0. That's fantastic play from them.
Really is. And it's one of those series one of those groups that was just neck and neck where each of them were beating the opposite. There was a round and round and round, but unfortunately one team did have to fall. And that is what decides Group A, but we have more games and more groups to decide. So why don't we move on to our first match that we get to cast for the day? And that is Czechia versus Portugal. First, I think we should check out Czechia, look at this team, because I think they self-describe themselves as an underrated team that you gotta expect some crazy things from. And so I'm looking at them. I see the Clefable right there with the sticker, so maybe we get some Clefable gameplay today, right?
Yeah, I mean, that would be quite good. It's got some good capability on it. I mean, we have lots of stickers here, right? We've got the Mimikyu, we've got the Eldegoss, we have a Lechonk. Now, I don't think we're going to see Lechonk, but...
Oh, man. Once they add Lechonk to the game, that'll be great, right?
Oh, we'll so be back. Once Lechonk is in this game, chat, we're so back.
Yeah, but, that's it for the future. We're looking at today and looking at how a lot of the meta has been shaping up. We even got to see in the last game, I believe, between Belgium and Austria, we are seeing a lot of the XEX Pokemon being picked up. Still, the Zacian picked up a little bit more. Ho-Oh pretty much right at the top for our Pokemon when it comes to the meta. And now we look towards what Czechia could possibly play up against their competition in Portugal. Portugal is a team that I think is going to be one of those powerhouse teams. We have a lot of stacked players on this roster.
Yeah, that we do, and it's quickly become one of the rosters that people want to beat, right? This is it. You end up with, when you have these amazing players on your roster, you end up being the team everybody wants to get their hands on and end up beating. So I feel like Portugal may have a target on their back, but they are definitely going to come out swinging today.
I got to give a lot of credit to Fast on how they've utilized the stickers in that portrait, holding up the Lechonk right there. That was beautiful.
I mean, we're all wanting Lechonk in the game from what I'm seeing, holding it up high, putting it on a pedestal. That's where Lechonk belongs.
Exactly. I would like to see. Okay. I know this is a complete tangent. What is the Pokemon you'd most want to see added into the game? Like, not Lechonk, but just any other Pokemon.
I've been saying it for a long time. I want Cubone added into the game.
Okay, already. Dono, you don't have to say anymore. I love you because Cubone, Marowak are my favorite Pokemon. So you're already getting an A+ from me. Well done.
That just makes me extremely happy, buddy. But would you have them as a speedster or an all-rounder, though? That's the question. I mean, as we talk about all-rounders, we've got them all getting banned in this game so far. Ceruledge and Charizard getting straight banned out.
Yeah, not too surprised by those. Even the Ho-Oh now Hoopa hitting that bench as well. We've been seeing Hoopa pretty much rise in priority. I already talked about how good of a Pokemon that I think Hoopa is in the game. The mobility, it gives you around the map. But with having some of these powerful bands already taken away, we are seeing that there are some powerhouses left up, like Umbreon. Slowbro could easily be taken here by Portugal. They could go for something that doesn't really show up too much of their competition. A Gumpei would be an interesting one, and we actually get it locked in.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that early lock-in. I like the pickup of the bear, but I don't know, there must be something else that they're also working around this Comfey though, right? That is quite early to pick that mono.
It really is, but it does do well with the bear, depending on whether we get the water bear or the dark bear. But either way, there are there are options you can go for here, and it will really depend on what Czechia want to play because they have that Umbreon, Mew, and now Clefable. We were talking about that before with Czechia. We saw the sticker, so we were expecting to have that played, and I think Gatlu was saying that earlier, that we've been seeing a lot of comfort picks for a lot of these players. A lot of them just going to the things that they feel the best on in this tournament to really be able to show up and do their best with the team.
Yeah, I actually think it's a really good idea to do just that, buddy. Also, you're going to feel a lot more confident as you come into these games as a team when you are on your comfortable picks. Portugal picking up the Gyarados and the Pikachu. That itself is quite a good pair. You've got the backup. It looks like a support Pikachu, so possibly a Volt Tackle. It's got that EXP share on, as we can see. But Gyarados and Shifu are going to be a scary pair to come up against the Czech Republic.
And looking at Czechia taking that Buzzwole, trying to see if they can attack early, because when you have things like that Gyarados and the Urshifu, they are easily attackable in the early game where you can really punish them if you have something like the Buzzwole. Even Mew can help out a little bit because they're going to get a lot of these power spikes earlier than we'd see from Portugal. But Portugal round out their composition with a Mewtwo X.
That's rather surprising. We don't see much Mewtwo X picked up. I know we've had conversations with Gatlu about these XEX Mons, and Mewtwo X is probably the one that's low down there with people not really utilizing it. But I had a conversation with a team in Europe, Plush Keepers. People will know of them. They play the World Championship Series, and Kuro, their captain, was talking about how Mewtwo X is very much utilized as a defender in that sense. They use it very tanky, not so much as an all-rounder left in its lane, but as a tank, and it's just so incredibly difficult to KO it.
I mean, look at the build right now. You got a focus ban, weakness policy. You kind of are going a little bit more tanky on that build, really trying to be more of a defender to survive and kind of utilize more of your healing regen that you're able to get, where you just have this weird situation where the health bar is going wow, 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 wow.
Well, that's it. And when Mewtwo X has the moves that it has, it's like when you can't KO it, so it's just going to be an absolute nuisance. And it's the kind of mon that is a big target, right? A lot of people put a lot of resources into trying to take it out. Very similar to how people use Ho-Oh. So that is kind of suitable for the role it plays in. I'm very excited to see how this is going to sort of come to fruition with that Mewtwo X.
Me too. I want to see how this composition for Portugal is going to work up against Czechia, because Czechia do have the ways to attack early. So we got to get onto the Thea Skyru and see how this game one between Czechia and Portugal will go.
Yeah, and as we expect with the jungle rotations, the Bulbasaur and the Kung-Fu on the other side, and as you called already, that Kung-Fu is going to stick to that Kung-Fu by the looks of things. This Mewtwo X is taking the bottom lane early against that Mew and the, I believe it's a number, not an Umbreon. I can't remember what they picked up there, buddy.
It's an Umbreon down there, I believe. But right now we are seeing those early dunks, try to get the early points. Might be able to get the knockout on Alexis, but Alexis barely there. That's going to be the eject button to secure the first KO.
That aggression, though, I love to see that coming from these players. Portugal really locking in that first KO. We have some early dunks for some stacks. Spooky Ferret, of course, on that Buzzwole. You want to hit that level 5 as soon as possible to really be dominant up here. But you have the bear. The Mighty Bear's arrived with its collar, so it's going to be really difficult to take this down.
Would you consider this like a circus bear since it has a collar now? So it's kind of got a little bit more to it. As you can see, this aggression onto the Clefairy and Buzzwole, 2 knockouts. And it's Ivysaur under the point, having to eject button away, but they are getting chased out of there. This top path completely dominated by Portugal.
Yeah, and with those points going in from the Magikarp, look how close we are to the effort meter on this. Good stacks. It's very close to being able to get it. We're going to see a little bit more, and that will be here before the 8-minute mark. That's huge. But we do have this Umbreon down on the bottom lane. That's going to be really difficult to take out. But we see Dark rotating down with that collar around them. They may be getting another 2 KOs down there.
Yeah, we already see that first KO onto the Mew, and then follow it up. That's the double. You called it, Tano, and more dunks here for Portugal. And a lot of this has been put onto the Circus Bear, just making those visits around every part of the Sky Ruins. Then you get a double knockout for Gyarados in the top path.
Yeah, this is scary, right? You've got level 7 all-rounders coming at you from the side of Portugal. You really do need to try and catch up to Czechia. I feel like that's exactly what they're going to want to do. Go pick up those yellow dots. Go Pac-Man mode. Umbreon trying to protect the Ivysaur here. Dark had them in their vision. But I like the decision to back up and go for some more farm.
Right now, Portugal, they have a composition that I expected to need a little bit more time to try to scale up, especially up against like a Buzzball that could attack early. But they are just dominating right now. Already level 9 for the Urshifu. That is actually insane that Portugal are getting this kind of priority and looking for more attacks there, just getting them to dash away. But they are maybe contesting. We only have a few seconds left until the Regi's going to spawn. As Gakko did get taken low on Mewtwo, forced back to the point. 5 member strong here of Czechia, looking for the dive against the 2. But you got to be careful there, Urshifu diving into the background, and look at that, Mew's gone. Venusaur's out of there. They had the advantage the whole time, and they are looking to clean up house here against Czechia. Only the 2 remaining. That is Mewtwo X picking up the double kill, almost getting the triple as Clefable was able to get away.
I love what is happening with Portugal here. The fact that this Water Bear ignores everything else that's going on and dives straight into that back lane. You are not going to be able to survive as a Mew and a Venusaur with that thing in your face. And look at the demolition coming in for Portugal here. Somebody call 999. They're going to need some help to defend this lane, buddy, because they also got that Lecky over the side of Portugal. They're pushing that into the T2 pad. This is just an absolute demolition coming in from Portugal right now. There's the Unite move from the Mewtwo.
No.
Huge stuns. They do push the Gyarados out of the way, buddy, but yet again, another double KO coming in for the Mighty Bear.
I don't think they're done either. They're diving the point. They're picking up more. They're getting the dunks. And Regieleki was kind of kept at bay by Clefable, but that means now you're on the wrong side of this. They're going to chase you down, pick up a couple more of the Eos energy off of you. And this is Portugal only halfway through the timer, and it feels like we are already at the end of the game with how much they are dominating.
It is like 235 points between them at the moment, which is crazy. We're not even halfway through this game yet, Magical. Portugal coming out to make a statement. It's working so well with the rotations that they have on their team. They just need to defend these goals now and just pick up every piece of XP that they can. They want to keep the pressure on. We don't want to let Czechia get in if you are Portugal, but they have some strong front line over on the side of Czechia. Look at this bear, just prepared for any ambush that they can grab.
Just waiting it out, holding on, saying, hey, we already have the lead. We are already dominating in this game. Already have 2 level 12s on our side. That is just insane. Portugal have been just absolutely terrorizing for Czechia here. It feels like this game isn't even going to get anywhere to a point where Czechia might even have a hope to survive and get to the Rayquaza to maybe win.
Yeah, I feel like you've just got to work on getting the XP and really play for Rayquaza here for Czechia, unfortunately. Every single time these objectives come up, we have a fantastic rotation from Portugal. They lock that in. They're getting a bit risky here. The bounce was prepared on the Gyarados, but they've decided to just back up. Yeah, they're going to use the Lecky as an advantage. That gives them an extra player when they push in for this one, but I like the decision to not go too aggressive just yet until this Mewtwo X is showing up. They pull in the Buzzwole, and there's the bounce from the Gyarados. Umbreon having to use their Unite move, but yet again, the big bear with the collar just does destruction galore on the side of Czechia. They're pushing onto the home pad here, Magical. This Lecky could go in, giving them a massive lead. There's the Thunderbolt, and it does go in. Points are gonna rain galore. Portugal with a fantastic showing already in this game.
And they are not done. They are getting a full ace there. All these points they've collected at the home pad, like you said, home base, under attack. It's crazy because look at the bot path. It is still completely intact. It has been domination on the top path. A lot from that Water Bear just having so much power, so much pressure they're able to exert over everyone of Czechia that, like I said, we're getting only 1 minute and 20 left until we have Rayquaza, and it feels like even if they get it, even if Czechia is able to manage a heroic take onto that. They are so far behind. They got to get picks like this consistently onto the Mewtwo in order to even hope they can get back with a balance from Gyarados. But here's that bear, the Caller Bear, looking for the damage against all 5. Almost was able to get the knockouts there as Pikachu barely scare them away with the Thunder.
I mean, I was going to call it Yogi Bear, cuddly and soft, but it absolutely isn't, buddy. Dark has been absolutely destroying everyone they come in contact with. I love the dives onto the back line, picking up the squishes. I mean, Pikachu answering as well with a double KO. Look at the levels, though, Magical. I don't know what Czechia can do here. They have one level 12. It's just comfortable for Portugal right now.
2 level 14s for Portugal as well. The lowest levels of Pikachu and Comfey are at the same level as the highest one for Czechia and Venusaur. This is not at all fair for poor Czechia. And with Rayquaza spawning, like I said, I don't even think them taking that would give them enough of an advantage to come back into this game.
No, I feel like your shields are going to get ripped. The team fighting coming in from Portugal has been so good. They've won every team fight that they've engaged with, and I just feel like they don't have any concerns. Look at how they're set up right now. They are in the aggressive stance. Level 15 just ticked over onto that Gyarados. We're going to see Umbreon coming down. This is going to be risky. They're going to get pounced on by the 2 here. Nice stun coming in from the Pikachu, but they do have to back out. We see Spooky Ferret jumping in on the
look at the background.
That could be risky and nice. That's a nice flank with that Unite move coming in. Pikachu just trying to hop onto that Venusaur. There comes the Unite move from the Shifu. That Comfey is going to be able to keep them. Verdant Anger drops a massive amount of damage, but nobody is able to pick up the all-rounders. It is just demolition galore. Good pick up by Buzzwole to take down the Mewtwo X, but I don't think that's going to be enough. They dive onto the Pikachu, and it is the Gyarados and the Shifu doing what they've done all game, cleaning up Czechia right now.
Dark's flank right there pretty much was the death sentence for poor Czechia in that fight. They had maybe a hope if they could find a pick, but you can see now these are just kind of cleaning up the house, sweeping it all under the rug, saying this is our game 1. We've been dominating all game, and now with Rayquaza's shield, we can get more points just to put the icing on the cake and say how good we played in game 1.
I mean, every part of that game, I was with you, Magical. I felt like they were going to have a little bit of difficulty getting that comp running because the Gyarados needs to get the Evo. We need a good gank from the Shifu. Mewtwo X is defending that bottom lane, and they really got that working straight away. From the 8-minute mark onwards, it was just demolition for them.
And a lot of that came from that one top path play from Dark where the Urshifu did show up and was able to get a lot of pressure right away. That pretty much made it so that not only the Urshifu was off to the races, but was able to get that evolution for Magikarp early so they could get to Gyarados, so they can pick up this win, so they can look dominant in this series against Czechia.
I love the answer for that there. They locked in that Comfey pretty early. I know me and you were both like, that is an early pick, but as soon as you saw that Shifu getting locked in, you was like, that makes sense. And I tell you what, you mentioned that they're going on to their comfortable picks, and that really showed for Portugal there. Like, it was the plan from them from the get-go. They knew that any range that was picked up over on the side of Czechia, they could use that water there alongside with that Comfey to just dive on it and take it out. And without that damage coming in, you're not going to win those team fights.
I mean, look at this, too. Just how many knockouts they got for both the Gyarados. They had 3 Pokemon with double-digit knockouts. That is crazy. Gyarados, Pikachu, and Urshifu all have double digits on the knockouts. Just great performance all around for Portugal.
And it's so difficult, isn't it, when you're getting hit so hard in a game like that to come back into it. You've got to keep your wits about you. You've got to concentrate. How do we win this game? How do we change this? And grab that XP, try and push that Rayquaza. But Portugal did not give Czechia any chance to do that in that game.
Not one bit. It was pretty much just domination from that level 5, from Dark, just utilizing the Urshifu, helping out the rest of the team Snowball. And so you look at where a lot of the damage came from, where a lot of the healing was as well. It's funny because we were talking, I want to just talk about this Mewtwo X that we were talking about before about being more of a defender. Yeah, a lot of damage absorbed and taken by the Mewtwo X, but at the same time, we didn't really get to see much of it. It was the Urshifu show.
Yeah, that it really was 119k damage coming out of it, and yeah, they just played it so superbly. Look at this. We can see the fact that from the get-go, really, from the 2-minute mark, Portugal really were in the lead, and it was so difficult for Czechia to catch up at any stage of this game. And the thing is, how are you going to adjust coming into this next game? Do you consider the fact that Shifu and that Comfey are broken for Portugal? Do you have to work around that? Because that also means that you could give them other mons that typically you don't want to come up against.
I think really we are seeing that the Urshifu plays are getting a little bit better and better for this tournament, where it's kind of been hanging out in the wings of like more of a niche pick, but I think we've seen it dominate in the games that has made it through to the Sky Ruins. That we're gonna have to start seeing at least maybe that ban. I don't know if it got to do anything about the Comfey. We've only seen a couple Comfey. Well, I guess Comfey with certain Pokemon really strong, like we were talking about with the Urshifu. It really does feel like the Urshifu is just one of the singular Pokemon that can function with or without the Comfey.
Yeah, well, I didn't see, like, I mean, obviously we saw the Comfey dropping about 30k heal in there, which is great, but I didn't actually see the Shifu needing it that much during that game, right? It dived straight through onto the ranged mons and took them out. I didn't see that. I mean, I think I saw a Comfey Unite move once for the Shifu during that game.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't essentially need it. So I think you're absolutely right. I don't think they're too concerned about that mon, but I'd be scary coming up against that Shifu again.
Right, and even looking at the composition that we saw from Czechia, like we were talking about the early game that you have from Buzzwole, we've been seeing a lot of that here in the European Cup, and I'm kind of wondering what you really were looking for when you get things like the Venusaur, but you don't really have the best mid game for yourself. It was like they had a lot of early game and a bit of late game, and if the early game fails, you kind of need that bridge from early to mid to late if you want to really have it successful. So I'm looking at Czechia on how they're going to draft in this second game, and I really do want to see them put more emphasis on how they can come back in the mid game.
Interesting, they've banned the Clefable. Fair enough. They must have some sort of plan or comp in mind that really doesn't want to deal with that Clefable, possibly the Gravity.
Yeah, but that means that you're banning Clefable, leaving open that Urshifu we were just talking about. Umbreon still available. Zacian, there's an Armarouge that we are getting banned this time around. There are a lot of picks that we saw that were either picked or banned in previous games that are now wide open for Portugal to take, but they can only get one of them. That's kind of something I like about an orange side strategy, is if there's a lot of really strong picks, you kind of just leave at least 3 of them or 4 of them up. So that way, only one can really be taken by Portugal, and they opt to go for the Comfey. And if I'm Czechia, I'm looking at the Urshifu. That's what I would have taken. But they go for Blastoise and maybe Eldegoss here.
I mean, it looks like they're potentially trying to come up with a comp that can handle that Shifu, but I don't know. I feel like you don't risk it. I think, having said that, though, Portugal must realize that Czechia will look at picking that up, and
there we go.
They've got another plan in mind, right? As we've mentioned, that Comfey is utilized by so many different mons, so they will have another mon that can hop onto that one.
The thing for me was that the Urshifu Comfey was so strong that, as you had called out rightfully, Tano, you didn't even need to use the Unite to make it work. And here, they go for Serena. All right, and then it's a Mewtwo Y. That's the more what we would expect, not the Mewtwo X, but they were able to play it last time, and it worked out pretty well. This time around, they are going to go for Y, while Slowbro is picked up. So double defenders, a pretty tanky side for Czechia so far.
Yeah, I do like that. And the CC Unite moves from both of their defenders are going to be really important at trying to take out whatever that Comfey is attached to, right? If you can get that slow beam onto that mon, you're taking at least 2 out of that fight. The Queen is on the field. That is a good Unite move, but of course the recent changes in the patch means that it can't stop the unstoppable ones now. So I think that's a good adjustment by Czechia there.
I like it. Oh, a Goodra. Now that's something we don't see often. Portugal really going for the comfort here and looking to see how many of the cursed items that we get on the other side to make sure that you can really delay the Goodra from doing too much. I'm not saying all too much just yet.
Yeah, I gotta say, that's a very left field pick, but I'm excited to see how this works out, buddy. We don't see any Goodra. I mean, it's not too bad in the lane on the early. It's a pretty good early mon for that, but it takes so long to become Goodra that it can really hinder your team. And also, if you do have a team that's got some good maneuverability, and if we do see that Shifu picking up the Water Bear, we do see that Sylveon picking up the Mystical Fire, I don't know how much Goodra is going to get out of this one.
I don't know either, but I am a Gudra player. I do like playing my Gudra. It's a lot of fun when you don't have to worry about any anti-heal because you're just living through every single fight possible. But as I said, it's not something we see too often. Look, I know myself. I like to play some of the lower tiered Pokemon like Duraludon. I play a pretty decent amount of that as well. Love my Gudra, but I also know that they are not the best in the best spot right now. But they definitely could use a little bit more love. The Portugal, I don't know if it's a little bit of hubris coming in from them or if they just have some strategy that nobody really knows of with it.
Well, I mean, you never know. The Comfy first pick is a crazy strategy, but it worked for them last time. So let's see how it works this time, buddy. But I do think it may lean into the fact that they are picking up the ones that they're quite comfortable on. And if you're going to play well on it, then, you know, fair bit. Who cares if people consider it to be D tier, right?
Exactly. Who cares? You just, as long as you get the W, that's all that matters. As we are on to the Thea Skyrunes for Game 2. Portugal with the 1-0 lead over Czechia. Czechia kind of taking away a couple of those picks that worked so well for Portugal before that Urshifu we're talking about. And now having a bit of a fight over some of the Bunnelbees, but not actually getting any real leads just yet. I'm curious to see how this Leafeon is going to be played for Portugal, because that is where the Comfeys decided to kind of hang out. And if you can get this Leafeon ahead early, that is just going to be a snowball that is unstoppable for Czechia.
Yeah, and I like the decision to come down here and provide assistance to your Serena and your Mewtwo Y. If you can get those online early enough, you will dominate any lane that they're in. That Mega is so vital in this early game. They've left this Gudra up top to defend it by itself, which isn't actually that bad. It's a pretty good laning mon in the early stages. But look at this. Leafeon's going to stay in this lane, and they're going to go provide that blue buff to their mons. I love this XP sharing from Portugal.
Yeah, I like it, especially when you have the Mewtwo Y. Just allow more of that damage and the cooldown reduction that you can get from that. So it's really good to see this from Portugal. And they're hanging out in the bot path as well. It's kind of just saying, all right, Gumi, you got to deal with everything your own and the top path, try to survive, and will do so. It's all the way back to that second pad, but did not get knocked out.
Yeah, I kind of like that, right? I mean, you're going to have points going in Immortal. I don't think so. We've got Tackle, we've got Bubble. The Bubble doesn't land, unfortunately, but it is enabling the rest of Portugal to just cause this domination down on the bottom lane into the jungle. We see Czechia doing the same on the other side now as well, but feel like they have got a bit more of an advantage out of it of Portugal. They are 62 points in the lead, and wow, this is really shaking up to be a good early game from both teams, actually.
It's just funny to see it, that all that time wasted by the Gumi in that top path, just being like, all right, you gotta really focus on getting these points if you want anything, as they find a double knockout in the bot path for the Queen herself, really starting to gain control and reign dominance on the Skyrunes at this point.
Yeah, she's just going to sit on that throne and feel comfortable, buddy, because that assistance from Leafeon has really enabled Serena to get to that stage. They're level 8 coming into 730. That is really good for their side. Nearly close to that Unite move. The Stomp is going to hop onto this Slowbro. It's so weak. I mean, not even a Slowbro, right? It's Slowpoke right now, and it's going to get poked with damage all day long. But this is scary for Leafeon in the top lane. You have some really strong mons to battle against you. A nice serve coming in there from Spooky Furret. Here's the Sliggoo, but I don't know if that's going to be a bit too much for that to handle.
Yeah, deciding not to go for that and instead backing off, because bot path is winning out and they don't want to lose one lane while they're winning the other. So instead they decide to fall back momentarily, even having this rotation. Looks like they're going to take out the bot pad, get themselves that goal, and then look for the first Reggie.
I gotta say, level 10 on that Serena, we saw it get up on board and use that Unite move instantly. They've locked in the Regirock. We see the instant rotation to try and push into this top goal for that Lecky. I love this from Portugal. Good rip onto the Lecky, though. Let's see what's going to come from this one, buddy.
It might have been too late. They have the Queen here, looking for the steal onto the Regieleki. They get it! Stolen away by Portugal. Then looking to make sure they get the knockout. They get the bear. They get the turtle. They get everything. Chasing away poor Czechia, because top path is now dominated by the Queen.
I mean, coming in from out of town and picking up everything from the mall. They get the Lecky, they get the KOs, and they've broken the goal. But yet again, 204 points to 49 at the minute. Portugal are really starting to come into their own in this game.
looking for the fight still. They are not done. The Queen diving in with another stop, getting a double knockout, making a triple. They can look for the quad onto the Blastoise, needing one more bit of damage for the Queen. There it is, the Quadra with only Sylvie on there, and you know what she wants? That's a Penta!
That was 6, buddy. They ended up popping up again. That's a scepter or something, even though the game says you're not allowed to do it. Dark is like, I will do just that. What a lock-in from Portugal. This is fantastic play from them, and they have really worked out to use their XP across the board so well that all of their carry mons are online. And yet again, Czechia are just slightly falling behind here.
Yeah, it should have said the Hexakill there, because getting all 6 on that one. That was so good from the side of Dark, showing that they don't need just the Urshifu to play so well. Already level 12 on Tsarina, and making this Pokemon look so easy.
Yeah, that they are. It's crazy. And I mean, they don't even have the Comfey sitting on top of it, right? It's been on the Leafeon the entire time, but they don't need to do that. Look at them getting their boosted, ready to down them into this, get 2 stomps out, take down that Slowbro. We've got to rip onto this Regice. The entirety of Portugal is here. They're trying to do well. Czechia, they're locking in some KOs, but they're not doing just enough. A nice Hydro Typhoon coming up from Spooky Ferret, but yet again, they go down. Comfey locking in that KO, and they take down the Regice. Portugal are just showing up and showing up big time.
They are looking so clean on this one. That Slowbro ain't tanky in this game. This is domination at game 2 by Portugal. They are making this look too easy against Czechia.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned it earlier, right? They are definitely going to be the team that has the target on their back because of how well they play, and this is just going to sustain that even more. Anytime they're going to come up against a team, everyone's going to be like, they are the team to beat. I mean, this has been really, really impressive from them. We're going to see this Lecky spotting up, and look at this. Instant rip onto it. Dark's there ready to zone if anyone gets close.
Just being like, no one can get past me. This is my territory, my dominion. Everything that you see, it's the Lion King right there. Everything the light touches belongs to me, including inside of your base, underneath your own goal. Looking for the Queen's Ascension to get the knockout on the Blastoise. Another stop, another domination, more chase down, more KOs. Leafeon getting the double, make it a triple as they share everything with the team because they are already at the base of Czechia.
Nice 26 overcap on that T2 as well. Usually you just want to get rid of them, but that was a tasty amount of XP that they can get from that with those overcaps. And I tell you, this is amazing from Portugal. Dark may be caught out here. They do have all 5 of Czechia around them. They are level 14. That'll be a good KO, but they're just gliding on out of their magical. They're not too concerned. They've hit that skateboard and they're flying into the sun.
Almost thought for a second that Dark was about to go back in. Had Comfey on top of him, was now wearing that necklace. I thought for a second that we were just about to see an outplay of the century, but Dark just playing it wise, saying, all right, we're winning, we're dominating, no need to throw when we are getting so close to Rayquaza, and give a possible angle for Czechia to get back into this game.
Yeah, I feel like Dark's like, I can probably take on 3 of them, but 5 might be a bit too much of an ask at that moment. But this Regirock is going to be uncontested for Portugal. It seems like Czechia are going to get set up in that top side of things for this Rayquaza to spawn. We're going to get pushed onto this pad, which is probably going to go unanswered by Portugal, but they're not concerned about that. Look at how much they are in a lead, and they know where those Mons are now. They have good vision for this fight.
Yeah, right now, it's Czechia trying to get some of those level ups that they need desperately around Rayquaza, especially when you get found out like this. That is a rainy day in the back line as a lot is absorbed with the stomp, looking for the Typhoon, but it's Tsarina again. The damage is there, helped out with the Leafeon to make sure they can make these plays work beautifully for Portugal to get an ace cleanly done, not having a single knockout on their side.
Mate, what is really fascinating is that the defenders over on Czechia are looking like glass cannons in a sense that they just do not sustain enough damage coming in from this comp that Portugal have constructed. It's so difficult for them to survive. They're going down so quickly. Easy points are going to come in now, and this is going to be another dub for Portugal. This has been a fantastic comp that they've worked out, and I'm really impressed with how well they played it.
And the Goodra, we were wondering how it was going to work out, and you know what? it works out when you have a really fed Tsarina on your team, right? Because then you just let the Tsarina do their work, win the game for you, get all these points. Portugal, I mean, right now they're looking unstoppable. Just how they're able to play so many different styles and still look so dominant.
Exactly. We knew like that the Shifu was going to be taken away from them. I think they understood that, so they were like, we need to find another mon that I can lock in on this Comfey, and they throw it onto the Leafeon. They utilize sharing that jungle XP so well. Leafeon coming into the bottom lane to assist with the mons they really need to get up online for a carry. We're just going to have a bit of damage farming going on as we talk about this right now. Nice Hydra Typhoon Spooky for it, but it's just too much coming in at you. But yeah, like utilizing to get their carries up and ready to roll. That early game, the way they worked that has really determined how this game is going to develop, and they've really been dominant just from that one decision on that play.
I think right there, Portugal is just trying to see if they can get 1K points. That's really what's going on right now. They're hoping that they can get past that threshold. I mean, they deserve it. If any team deserves it, it's Portugal when you have a Hexakill for your Tsarina in the game. It's game 2, so you pick up the win in the series. Let's see if they... I don't think they managed it. Yeah, just shy.
Ooh, just shy. But, I mean, the queen can stay on the throne. 18 KOs, 18 assists, MVP by far, buddy. That's fantastic play from Dark. I'm really excited to see these damage numbers because they were fighting all day long.
I mean, they had Comfey, but Dark proved to me in this game that the Comfey wasn't the issue beforehand anyways. It was just Dark playing that well. Doesn't need the Comfey, because you have the same amount of assists as Tsarina as the Comfey does. That's right there telling of how much Dark was able to do in this game. Not only dealing that amount of damage, but also taking that amount of damage too is actually crazy.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken the most amount of damage on their team. They've dropped 142k, which is illegal, Dark. That is insane. But considering the fact it's 142k, it's 38% of the team damage, just showing how dominant Portugal really were in that one.
I mean, they are deserving of this title of the team to beat. They are looking unstoppable. I don't know what else I can say that we haven't already said.
Look at the recovery as well.
They did a great job.
They got 48k recovery on that Tsarina as well, and they didn't have any Comfey on them. That's just literally from their own healing. That's bizarre. It was the most on their team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, what else do we say in that game? It was just domination. It was so well done by Portugal that everything that we could possibly say, we already said during the game. We already have been singing their praises so much. I mean, it was well done. It was beautifully played in both game 1 and 2.
Yeah, I gotta say, like, shout out to Czechia, because it is really difficult when you are getting punished that bad into a game to really stick to your wits about you and really put up a fight. So fair play to them. Fantastic play from Portugal. That was an amazing set, chat. We are going to head off to a break now while we get set up for the next game, which I believe is Italy versus UK. I'm incredibly excited for that one. I'm from the UK. I'm going to be rooting for the home team. Let's see how it goes. But grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, and we will be back with you very shortly.
Hello, hello, welcome back into the Unity European Cup 2024. I'm Mad Magical, joined in again by Spartan Tano, and I'm excited for these games that have been organized by Unity Clash and sponsored by Nouns Esports. Without them, we wouldn't be able to give you this. So I hope you all enjoy what we have been putting on so far, because I've been enjoying these games as we are still in stage 1, but we are almost done, Tano. We have one more series left to decide how our groups are going to actually play out, and then who will be going into stage 2, as well as who will be going into stage 3. So here that we have a as it stands now graphic that we can show, so everyone can see how it's exactly gone. We have our, I think it's the top 2 teams are going to stage 3, as you can see at the bottom. It's first and second, while third is going over to stage 2 in an elimination series.
Yeah, Group A, Greece and Austria doing just that. Portugal with a dominant showing in this tournament so far for Group B, and Turkey going straight on through to that stage 3 area, as well as the Unity team and the Netherlands, so that's exciting. But we have the Group D matchup now, buddy. We have Italy versus the UK. Italy have already played today and they've managed to get their win, but they're coming up against the UK. Now, is it coming home? Because I think it is.
I don't know, because Italy is one of our reigning champions back from 2022. So they have a lot to stand up for, a lot to be proud of themselves again with. But UK are no slouches, as you said. They could be taking it home. When you look at this roster, you see, I mean, one of the cool things I like about this tournament that we have so far is we have a lot of powerhouse players, but they're all playing to represent their country. So they're kind of like all spread out. And it makes it really interesting to see how they come together here, Tano.
Yeah, UK have got a really strong team here. We've got Toon, we've got Ripper, we've got Bruv, Jellyman, and Toppy, Top Gun there themselves. Like, what more of a squad do you want to see? Some fantastic Worlds players there on UK, and I'm really excited to see how they come up against Italy. Let's have a quick look at the Italy team. I mean, you'll recognize a lot of these names, Italy being the dominant side that won it previous year. Klaus there, Zervus, Kree again, Potato, Uwu, Natalo, and Falsal Som as well. A dominant team over on the side of Italy.
And I like that we have a lot of our stickers here kind of showing off what are the preferred Pokemon that players like to go for. But I'm really curious with Potato, because I see the Garchomp in the background, but I see Dodrio, and I really want the Dodrio played because if you can't tell, I like the funny birds. I'm a Cramorant player. Dodrio, I think, is amazing. So you get the funny birds, and I'm happy.
I tell you what though, buddy, if it's going to be anyone that does it, it's going to be Italy versus UK, because they're going to have to really try and pull something out to disrupt each of their teams. Both of these know they've played against each other many times. Both of these teams know what they're coming up against. So I suspect we're going to see a little bit of left field picks. So you never know. You may get your dream. We may see the bird being the word on the field.
Well, it's 3 words then, because it's 3 heads, you know, so it's bird, 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 word, word, word. You can't just do it once with that. That's what I like about that. But looking at how we can have these drafts, we've already seen some chaos so far in our drafts, especially from Portugal in that last series, which could mean maybe Tano, maybe we get Gengar.
Oh, please, please, I'm gigging. We've got the Gengar plushes all around me. I've got the Gengar tattoo on my hand. I really want to see some Gengar chat. And to be honest, I mean, it's at a good stage in the meta at the moment. I know it can be tough coming up against those, tanks and all-rounders, but Hex is slightly broken. I'm a huge Gengar fan, but I will at least admit when the Mon needs a little bit of a nerf.
Yeah, I mean, they buffed poor Gengar because he was in a rough spot before, and now a little bit broken. When especially like you get that lead for Gengar, and as a Cramorant player, and I've been seeing a lot of Gengar, and I just go, I hate this. I hate this so much because anything that can stick to Cramorant is what you don't want to play against, and that's why Gengar is really strong right now. But I'm looking at how this draft is going to go for these two teams and what our meta has really been so far. And unfortunately, we are seeing a lot more of the tankier Mons being picked up. The Umbreon, Slowbros, Ho-Ohs. We even got the Mewtwo X variant as more of a defender style. So it really does put Gengar way down on that list just because too difficult to actually go for these assassinations. But looking at other Pokemon that we could possibly see, we saw the Leafeon in the last game do really well. Sarina was a surprise, but Urshifu, I think, is the big one that I'm really looking at as like possibly the Pokemon that has really changed how the meta is going to be and really going to make players and teams have to reconsider how they're drafting.
Yeah, absolutely. I think when it comes to the species in general, you really want those early game dominations. That's why we see Leafeon, more along that side. But we will say we've seen a lot of teams pick up comfort picks going into these battles tonight, and we know a lot of the comfort picks for Italy and UK. Will we see more of that? Let's see. But the Hooper ban from the get-go is a stroke of genius for Italy. They know how much that provides a team.
And if you're not willing to first pick it, you got to just take it away. It's not really a first pick Amon either. You want to go orange side, like orange 1 or 2 when you go for that. When you're purple side, you don't want to be putting your focus onto that. So I like that. And then, taking away Eldegoss too. That's interesting. We know that both teams do like the Clefable. So I was wondering if maybe for a second, that could actually be what they opt to go for as first pick.
Yeah, I love that. Really restricting the supporters that UK can pick up. They've picked up the Blissey as well, so you're kind of going to have to delve into the Clefables, really delve into that world of supporters. Bruv, locking in the Ho-Oh. No, they're going to rotate onto the Mamoswine instead, but the Miraidon Magical is the XEX Mon that is completely dominant in these games.
Yeah, we've been seeing that a lot, and we already saw that that UK does have, I think it's Jellyman that likes to play the Miraidon a lot already. So grabbing that means that Ho-Oh is left open. So it looks like Italy are going to go for that. And a Buzzwole. If that Buzzwole gets locked in, I like this early game for Italy. Even having the Cerule Edge not going for the Ho-Oh like initially thought. But I like this draft so far from Italy.
Yeah, me too. It's interesting that both teams were going to pick up the Ho-Oh and rotate it off it. Now we're going to see a possible Comfey coming in for Team UK. They must have some sort of plan alongside that. I mean, a Buzzwole and a Cerule Edge are scary. Yeah, absolutely. A Shifu would be a good call. Toon picking up the Pikachu. They've got the EXP share on it, so we're going to see possibly those Volt Tackles, but this is a scary comp that Italy has built as well.
Right. I mean, you don't really even need the Ho-Oh if you don't want it. The Armorage, I think, is going to be massive with this composition, and dependent on what they want for a defender. Slowbro, I do like Slowbro. Umbreon would be another one that they could opt for, but this is a really good comp from Italy.
Yeah, that's a scary comp. Look at the front line that they've got for that Armarouge to just let loose with those cannons, buddy. They are going to be battering down the hatches and letting loose as much as they can. It's going to be tough to get through to that Mon. So what are they going to pick up on the side of UK Blaziken? I mean, the Fire Chicken is an easy lock-in, right? It's an easy pickup. It's such a dominant Mon in these games, and fantastic Sashura as well.
And now we know where the Comfey is going. We know where the Comfey is going to be hanging out on, and it's going to be with that Blaziken. Because I was looking at that, what all-rounder did they really want to get so they can really help buff it up, or if they wanted to go for a Speedster, they opt for the Blaziken. Like I said, that damage that you're going to get from that, now also surviving a lot of damage that could be thrown at them. It really is going to be for the UK surviving this early game. Making sure that Italy cannot utilize Potato on the Buzzwall to start getting these snowballs working out well for the Cerural Edge and Armor Rouge.
Yeah, I gotta say, it looks like a scary comp to come up against for UK. Italy have so much front line that it's a tough one. I mean, we do have the Mamasan and Bruv being the ultimate person on that. We really going to have to concentrate on those Ice Fangs. That's what I suspect they're going to go with, because you're going to have that Cerulege going in, you're going to have that Buzzwall going in. But I just feel like they're so tanky on the side of Italy. You really want to be trying to take out the Armor Rouge, and I'm not sure if they're going to have the capability of doing that. I suspect we'll see the Electro Drift coming out of the Miraidon just to try and make sure that they can get into that back line. But of course, Charge Beam just provides so much range that it's really difficult to not go for that, right?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I kind of expect to see the poke versus poke, Miraidon versus Armor Rouge. Who can get the better poke earlier in these fights to really set up the rest of the team to try to follow up? Because we are here for our last matchup of the Stage 1 games. This is Italy versus UK, Game 1 of the best of 3.
Yeah, Italy already coming off a win earlier today, so they're going to feel pretty confident, but let's see how this matchup develops. Swinov being so strong in that bottom lane. Miraidon being there in the top is a good call. It seems like they're going to have difficulty trying to stop that Chansey from getting some stacks in, but we're going to have a little bit of a to-do whilst that Torchic and that Charcadet are just trying to, as quick as they can, to get into these lanes.
Ooh, poor Swinub taking a lot of damage there. You know, ice does melt to fire. It'd be interesting if that actually worked like regular Pokemon. Oh, but maybe it will work out right here. Looking for that Comfey who is not attached, and you're just a necklace that is broken apart when you don't have someone that you are a part of, and even looking for more as they are looking to see if they can dunk some of these points on that goal, getting a lot for themselves. Italy off to a strong start.
That they are. Buzzwall very close to that level 5, so they're getting to the side of where they are going to be taking advantage of this top lane. Who's going to grab all them? It was going to be the Cerulege, but a nice push from the Combusken even, managing to lock that in, but you have the big mighty Swole there to lock in its own KO. They're getting pretty weak here, Potato, but I don't think they're going to be able to get that KO, buddy, because Bitterblade's there, and the Bliss is there to provide that assistance. Really well played by Italy.
Yeah, and now Ripper kind of realizing they might have gone a little bit too far. He's got to be so careful. They're taking a lot of damage despite being under their own point. This is Italy really dominating that top path. And when you look at the bot path, nothing's really happened from either side. It's purely been the top path plays.
Yeah, I mean, 66 points in already, plenty of stacks. That's what you like to see. Buzzwall's going to be scary to come up against, being a higher level than that. Well, the Combusken's a high level, sorry, but it's just got that superpower, right? It's got that move that's really difficult for Combusken to handle. Klaus is going to lock in all of this. Jellyman comes, sees it, and thinks, nope, I'm out of here, buddy. You can grab all of that. But it does mean, of course, nice. Oh, what an Ice Fan coming in from the Pillar-Swine as well to lock that one down. Well done, bruv.
I like that one from Bruv. Just making sure that the Slowbro, who's really trying to be a nuisance towards the Miraidon and really attack the camps, gets punished for it. And speaking of getting punished, we saw that was the eject button away. That was a lot of damage dealt. Another armor cannon almost picking up that knockout on the Bruv, who was barely able to escape. While they are looking for the chase down, that's another eject button to pick up the KO with a Scald. And then they have the Buzzwall out of nowhere to RKO Miraidon.
And now they are down here, set up and ready to get funky with it. Blaziken having to back on up. They're up against 4 from the side of Italy. Here comes the Comfey to provide some assistance. Nice Ice Fang to throw service into the back of the pad. Are they going to be able to pick up anyone, though? Because the healing and the Slowbro are just absorbing every bit of damage coming from UK right now. So Rulage is set up camp in that jungle on the side of UK. And we have a poke onto the Registeel. Who's going to lock in this KO? A nice superpower. Picks up 1, picks up 2. Are they going to be able to pick up anybody else? Goodbye, Pillar-Swine. Goodbye, Comfey. Italy coming out on top of these lanes.
Beautifully done there. I love that from Italy. Looking so good in that fight. And the big problem for UK is they're trying to go up and see if they can counter siege a siege comp when they didn't have their own poke that they needed to counteract that. Rhydon was top path that whole time trying to farm up, which meant all that free damage that Italy was able to get on them, while Cerulege was still pathing down to the bot path, enabled that fight to go so perfectly for Italy.
I will say it's a very British thing to come from behind in any sporting event. So let's see what UK can do. And I pick up with the overheat. The Bliss Assistance is going to save Kree again, but there comes a big drift on through from the Miraidon. The Meteors are landing, buddy, but that Lecky has gone in. They're going to score some points to save themselves from any damage coming in from that. And the Bitter Blade is going to be a bit too much, but the Electro Drift, the Dragon Bite doing a lot of damage, but the Ceruledge being there yet again to answer. That's the T2 pad down, 315 points to just 24 right now.
Brav also right there on that play was hoping they forgot about the Piloswine, but they did not. They knew that you were still there, and that is Italy taking a commanding lead now, halfway through our first matchup, and they are at 315 points. They are looking so clean. The level leads that they're getting to, level 12, level 11 for the Char Cadet evolutions, they're looking really good.
Yeah, I gotta say, I was worried about how tanky they were and how UK were going to be able to get through to it, but at the moment, they've not managed to find that answer. We've hit the halfway mark. It's very reminiscent of how the previous game went. A good Ice Fang to isolate the Slowbro, but they put the Slow Beam onto the Blaziken. That's going to save Kree again. They do go down. Revenant Rend and the Thunderbolt coming in to pick up some nice KOs there. They've worked together to do just that, but Italy are still not defeated in that team fight. They are coming down to this objective. We see the go in there on the Miraidon. They've got the Comfey, but they're going to have to get on out here because the Armor Cannon and that Bitter Blade are doing too much damage.
Yeah, they went way too far, and now they are getting punished. Double KO for Armarouge. More Eos energy, level 13 for Ceruledge. Domination for Italy as they have taken control of the central path away from UK. In fact, chasing into the base this early on. The Ceruledge with the Bitter Blade to try to heal up as well. They tried to dash out of there, but it was just killing time because they were able to get themselves that Red Steel in the bot path. Now with the Comet starting to land, looking for the damage to pick up any knockouts, but they couldn't get it just yet. Ceruledge is still there, waiting to heal up the best he can. Does almost survive, but finally gets knocked out by the Fire Chicken while they look to see if they can take down a Mammoth on the other side who barely jumps away.
I gotta say, we saw a Bliss Assistance to save Ceruledge then, and it was insane. They were 1 HP and a dream, and Blissey came in as the angel to provide that dream. They do eventually go down, though, but Buzzwole pops their Unite move. They just miss it on the Miraidon, being such a slippery dragon. It's so hard to catch, but they pick up a Mammoth instead. Slam that one down, and they're going to be able to pick up that Mammothswine. Double KO. Blissey taking the triple away from Potato, but they're not going to be unhappy about that one.
Not one bit. They are, again, just taking control, and it feels like the games that we've got to cast today, Tano, has just been one team dominating from the early until mid-game. And there has to be some hope here for UK if they want to bring it on home, because they got to pick up this win and not get poked out this heavily. Slowbro taking up forever and a half, but still not knocked out. It's you, UK. You're the ones who started the fight. You're the ones getting punished. Even if you have some members that are still healthy, they are all getting chased away. That's a big bug locking down, getting the slam onto the Mammoth, wanting to eat something fresh today, and that is going to be taken down, bro, for the KO.
Potato has not been missing, and they have the gains for days, buddy. They are locking in these KOs left, right, and center. Level 14s on the all-rounders there. Ceruledge and Buzzwole, they are going to be so tough to handle coming into this final fight. We're 25 seconds away. We've got to push onto the Lecky, throwing away the Blaziken as if it just does not matter. Some nice meteors coming down. It doesn't pick up Potato, though. They're going to try and lock this one in. Good effort from the Mammothswine, buddy, but it wasn't enough to do it, and they're going to have to put Comfy onto the Miraidon to keep them alive. They're going to dash on through on that bike, but get locked in by Kree again.
Yeah, and this fight is just not over as there are more KOs being picked up by Italy. Regieleki is looking at the base right now while Italy are looking at Rayquaza. They want to take that away, even if there could be the counteract here. They've got Blaziken, but that's a lot of damage from that armor cannon. They've got to be careful because look at the Slowbro looking for the skulls. The Bug is back in the back line. They're getting the knockouts. The eject button's away to get back onto the Miraidon, but that means you left alone the Mammothswine to get triple KO'd by Armarouge.
Yeah, that was so good by Buzzwole just to throw that Mammothswine into everybody on the side of Italy. We do have a dream coming in from Toon here. The Bliss Assistant, who's going to lock this in? Of course, it is the armor cannon itself. Armarouge doing just that. This is going to be a win for Italy, buddy. We have a minute 15. We can get some scores scores in with these shields. They're going to try and do just that. But I don't know if there's enough change on the field for UK to come back from this one if they get those hundo burgers in.
Not one bit. There's too much. Italy gonna dunk some points right into the base, take themselves full control of this game. Another dominating game that we have witnessed here, especially for our last one in the group. UK has got to figure out what they can do to possibly stop Italy, because now Italy will have that 1-0 lead. There's, even with 45 seconds left on the clock, there's just no hope for UK in this game one.
I gotta say, it's very reminiscent of what Portugal have just done. Domination from the get-go, and honestly, I feel like it's just the draft at the moment, to be honest with you, Magical. I feel like Italy, they just got too much, right, to get through. How are you going to handle the armor cannon dropping that much when you have to break through those tanky sides, those all-rounders, those defenders? I mean, even Blissey is a really tanky mon effectively, especially with Bliss assistance. So I just think it was a little bit too much for UK to handle, and when they really need to utilize this next draft.
I completely agree with you on this one. Because we see that this game now finally coming to an end, even though it was over about a minute ago. You look at the draft and you look at the power picks that Italy picked up for themselves. Armarouge, Cerulean Edge. They just looked so good on that, and then just backing it up with even more damage from the Buzzwole that we've been seeing really dominating these early games for a lot of the European Cup.
I mean, we don't have that 1,000 burger in yet, the 1,000 burger, but we do have 919 points coming in from Italy. Really, really well played. And I've got to say, I mean, it was the same with the previous game. It's so tough to come back from being dominated that much. You're trying to grab XP, but Italy are just continuing to take it away. So we've really got to see something coming out of UK here to really answer to what Italy just did. 14 KOs coming in for Klaus. I mean, 11 on Soma, 12 on Potato. What can you do against that tankiness and damage coming in at you?
I feel like it's really, like you said, it's just down to draft. It's how you pick these Pokemon and what you want to get for yourself, because you had chances to take the Armors, to take the Cerulean, even Slowbro, to make sure that it's tanky enough to then lock down these members or even lock down the Buzzwole before it can be a problem. But they let all those go over to Italy and taking that Comfey, and it's something I said before. I think Comfey is fine with certain compositions, but it's not the problem. It's not even the one that's really going to bolster a lot of these rosters. You need more of these power picks. Like, I would probably have preferred if even UK had drafted a way that Cerulean Edge right where the Comfey is, and then get the support later on.
Yeah, I mean, we look at that, right? So Italy came in, banned out 2 of the heavy supports in this game. They pick up the Blissey, taking 3 away. 140k healing came from that Blissey there, buddy. Look at that. So any damage that was coming in, I mean, to be fair to Toon, they dropped a lot of it on Miraidon. You just didn't get a chance to see it because Blissey was there to heal it straight on back up. All you've got on the side of UK is that Comfey that's really only just healing one mon at a time. You've got to hop off onto another one, and it just takes too much. So the tactic by Italy to really restrict UK on what supports they can pick up was a stroke of genius, from my opinion.
And that's even why I think that just waiting on the support is fine by UK at that point. You've already lost 3 of them. Yeah. And if Italy really wants to take a 4th for themselves, that, you know, take a 4th away from you and then have 2 on their team, let them at that point be like, okay, fine. Because I feel like there's so many more picks that could have been where that Comfey was. And then if the Comfey is up and you still feel like you want to pick it, then you can grab it later on. So looking at this draft for UK, I think it really is going to be how they approach this, especially because I believe they will be on purple side up against Italy.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw the lock-in, the ban of the Hooper, the Eldegoss, but also the Umbreon coming from the UK. Again, another mon that you can use in that supporter role, which does a incredible amount of healing. Yes. So, yeah, I just think what they need to consider is that Italy love those tanky comps that have good self-sustain, that come in and just drop, well, even take a lot of damage and drop a lot of damage. And whilst they're doing that, I mention it every time, whenever I mentioned it last time we cast together, buddy, when you have that range in the background that you just can't get through to, it's a completely dominant comp, and that's exactly what Italy have locked in. We need to see UK respond to that, pick up their own range maybe that can not have to dive in, right? The Miraidon went with the Electro Drift, which I do understand it is good for diving into the squishy and trying to pick them up, but then you're in that situation, right? You're in, surrounded by the rest of the team. They've got crazy CC. you need something that really just drops the range damage and stays within where your team's at, I think.
Completely agree. It's one of these situations for UK. It really is going to obviously depend on what Italy will draft for themselves. And then talking about Italy and what they can do, like obviously we think that they just hands down won the draft. It was a disgusting looking comp that they had for themselves. It was pretty much an uphill battle to begin with for UK. Before Italy, I'm looking at how they drafted, and I think that they just played smart with how they went for the draft and then played to perfection and what each of their mons wanted to do in the game. And that was amazing. And that's why they were able to pick such a commanding lead early into the game that allowed them to snowball into the late game. So I'm looking at how they can approach this orange side draft. And this is the thing I was kind of talking about. When you're orange side, you can actually leave open a lot of the power picks, because if they are open, UK can only pick one while you can get two.
Yeah, you do see a lot of teams, especially in the meta where it's at right now, prefer that second pick because of exactly what you've just said there, Magical. Of course, you can only pick up the one when you are on the purple side. So with how good, there's a lot of mons in this game that are really OP at the moment. You get two if you're on the second pick. So yeah, 100% with you there. We see the Zacian getting banned, the Miraidon in return from Italy. They did see a lot of that damage coming in. They probably felt like that was a little bit too much to handle. So I like the adjustment coming in from them. And Toon banning out that Ceruledge, because to be fair, that Ceruledge was doing illegal things in that game.
Now Pikachu gonna hit the bench as well, which leaves a lot of our defenders and supporters left open. So I'm looking at UK. They go for Charizard here. That's something we've kind of seen fall to the wayside, but still very powerful.
Yeah, to be fair, it doesn't really matter what you do on that mon, because you have a Unite move that is ridiculously good. You can use that many times in a game, so if you do have to pick up one strong mon, I absolutely love that lock-in from Toon. It does open the Umbreon and the Armarouge to be picked up by Italy. That's going to be tough for them to handle, but Bruv locks in the Ho-Ho. They were flirting with it previously in the draft, buddy, but this time they lock that in with that Eldegoss.
I like this a lot better from UK. This draft looking a lot more solid, but doesn't mean that Italy's not doing that good job themselves, because having the Armarouge and Umbreon, Hoopa being hovered, I think that'd be a great pick with Potato back onto the Buzzwole. I feel like this is a little bit of the same from Italy, but looking just as strong.
Yeah, they rotate out the Buzzwole for the Blaziken. I mean, Klaus was absolutely cooking anyway, so that's a good pick. They've got some fantastic secure on that, but also it's going to take a lot of damage, especially with Zervis being there as the Hooper. Jellyman locking in that Inteleon is exactly what I was just talking about, right, Magical? They're now going to have an Inteleon in the back line, dropping some crazy snipe shots. That is a good shout by them.
Now, I'm looking at what Italy drafted last year. What can get on top of this Inteleon, or even absorb a lot of the snipe shots from Inteleon? That's really, I think, what Italy have to decide for themselves. Do they want to try to attack the Inteleon or absorb the pressure? It looks like they are opting for the attack.
Yeah, I mean, Italy being as aggressive as they are, just going for the attack. Potato locking in that Gyarados. It's going to be so tough, because we mention it every time Gyarados gets locked in. We talk about how if you can stop it from getting that Evo early enough, but every time we mention it, it still manages to get an Evo at the 8-minute mark. So you do see a lot of pressure coming in from that, I guess, a dragon that isn't a dragon, as we say, Magical, but yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I like the comps from both sides here. It's been an adjustment, and it is definitely going to be a more balanced game comp-wise.
I completely agree. I feel like UK did a far better job in this draft. Italy's still doing a fantastic job in their own draft, but now it should be a much more even playing field right out of the gates for both teams. I'm looking at how they can play these early games, especially when you have something like Buzzwole. You look at where they're going to attack, and I'm really curious as how UK are going to pilot this Buzzwole, and whether or not it's going to be onto that Gyarados. Make sure the fish that's not yet a dragon, if you can attack that first.
And the thing is, UK have to get this win. They're currently in extra time. They're a goal down. They really need to get this win to pull themselves through to the overtime for that game-free situation, buddy. So Italy are really going to want to be aggressive here. They're going to come out swinging. They don't want to give UK any chance to try and take this. If they can tee at 2-0 UK, they're going to be feeling pretty strong in that first area of that Group D.
Especially because they are down in the series, and this is our last game of stage 1. So this is their last hope to see how they are going to stack up, where they will find themselves positioned if they're going to stage 2, if they're going to stage 3. Everyone now lining up, going for a bit of an attack. See that Bruv already getting the 6 points, stealing away. Oh, stole away the camp there, and still gets that dunk for 11, I think. No, it didn't quite get it.
I think the burn stopped it. It was very close. I thought that was also going to go in, but instead the Umbreon locks in the 4. So if they can get an Evo, that's going to be huge. They are pretty weak here. I think the Inteleon's going to do a lot, but Buzzwole here, they're getting pretty weak, but the Glossophers there with the assistance servers providing just that over to the side of the Magikarp as well. This is a really close game already at this early stage, but it is the Ho-Oh picking up that Umbreon. They've stopped the evolution before the 9-minute mark. That's going to be really important for Italy, and a good rotation from UK here.
Yeah, it was just a little bit of over-aggression from the side of Italy, where they had Umbreon pretty much between the 2 pads in the spot path of UK. They're trying to steal away some of the farm, but now that you have the ulterior camps, is the battle over that. It looks like it was kind of split between the 2, but most important is the fact they're getting these evolutions. Armarouge is there onto the Sky Runes.
Yeah, that is good. But Buzzwole is up here with the level 5. They've now got their power spike, so the top lane may be going to the side of UK at the moment. Bottom lane very much becoming a bit more Italy with that evolution. Umbreon is now on the field. Jellyman's going to have to do a lot to try and get on out of there. They use the eject button for that Citrus Berry, and now it's Kree again on the back foot with that Ho-Oh. The big bird just causing so much chaos for them. But the big dragon that isn't is on the field, buddy. Gyarados, big fish, has arrived.
Yeah, he's there, was able to bounce on out of a sticky situation. But now we'll see Italy in a better spot. This is that mid-game power that they have, and they are utilizing it fully as they get a knockout and then rotate for the ulterior camps in central path. But here come Ripper and Showmaker trying to contest that, seal it away, slam down on it to the Fire Chicken, but he's evolved, and he's got the power to chase down the balance from the Dragon, not Dragon, to pick up a KO.
Wow, what a pincer movement coming in from Italy there. And the thing is, Klaus is so difficult to take out, even if you are a Buzzwole. So that was a fight that may not be going their way. Anyway, 23 points going in by the Charizard, but look at the armor cannon, buddy. It's dropping a ridiculous amount of damage, and we don't have that snipe shot online for Jellyman yet. They need to get that evolution, and they need to get it quick.
They have to. UK are so reliant on having those final stage evolutions. And look at that. Bruv tried to contest, got countered out of that one, got knocked out. While Klaus has been going for the invade. Looking for a lot of damage on to Eldegoss, but has the eject button away from Charizard. Picked up the berry to get the movement speed, and now they have their Gyarados and Co. in the bot path to help defend.
Yeah, we're going to have a rotation onto the objective by the Armarouge, and look what's coming in from Italy. We see the Gyarados going yet again to the top lane. Kree again is just going to cause chaos for this bottom pad. I like this. Big Ripper going for the rip onto the leggy, but I tell you what, a Gyarados being there may be a bit too much for them to do just that. The bounce on the Dragon Breath. They've got the superpower, but there's the Dragon Current. They're going to be able to pick up Ripper here with the Dragon Breath coming in. Goodbye, Buzzwole. Back to the Pokemon Center for you. This is the Lecky that Italy wants to lock on in.
And now it is starting to get to that point. This mid-game spike for Italy. They are just dominating at this point. In UK, they might have late-game scaling, but they cannot continue to fall behind like they are right now. They've got to have something worked out as they try to defend this pad here in the top path, but they already lose out on Buzzwole. Too squishy. They're diving. They're looking for Showmaker. Ho-Oh has shown up. Might be able to rekindle the flame, but no, there's no Eos energy to do so, so you're getting punted back for the triple KO out of Potato. Make it a quad as they can dunk these points onto the Regieleki pad and take it out.
I would be screaming, Mom, get the camera after that one. Domination from Gyarados. That's fantastic play. They do have the snipe shots online for the UK now, but look at this. You take down one, and there's just somebody else from Italy to pick it on up. Double KO from the Blaziken, and yet more points going into this T2 on the bottom pad. Italy doing what they did last game, giving themselves a lead. UK are really answering at least. They're getting themselves closer into this game, but we no longer have a goal in that top lane, buddy. That is open free for that home goal.
But keep in mind, I feel like this is still not a terrible position for UK. Not like last game. Last game, when they fell behind, they had really no answers to get back into this game. But this time, the Charizard, the Ho-Oh, Inteleon, these are all that are still going to scale well, and they're not that far behind. Sure, the Fire Chicken has level 12, but look at how much pressure they just put onto the Fire Chicken with the snipe shots to get him to get away.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They have the Unite moves to win a team fight. Dragon Current, though, wants to lock in the Inteleon. They use the Fel Stinger to dive on out of the way. And with that superpower, Gyarados is not going to be able to lock that one in. They need to get on out of there. Seismic Slam in the backfield by the Charizard. Drops a lot of damage. They're flying just over the part where it can't be targeted. And I feel like it is going to get taken down, though, because they are hunting that one down. In the meantime, though, Klaus has been put in on a clinic. But it's Ripper that comes in to clean it out.
Much better fight there for UK, getting some crucial knockouts, crucial points, especially with Regieleki up. They can start pathing towards the top, but they can't fully take control. They just need to see if they can gain a little bit of a foothold and then look for a fight around it because they're still fairly low. That's going to be the bounce and the knockout on the Buzzwole. There goes the buff bug with Ho-Oh having to dash away. That gives up that control they had just gotten of Regieleki.
I absolutely love the Bloodlust coming in from this Gyarados, but in the second it seems anyone, it is diving on in, screaming back me up to the support that's with it, and they lock in at least one KO every single time it happens. That's going to be some pressure going into the lane for UK at the moment, and Italy are going to capitalize on just that, pushing into the jungle here, grabbing the XP. It seems like they're leaving the Inteleon to handle that Lecky while they put the pressure onto these Mons. Toon may have picked that one out with a Seismic Slam, and that's going to be the superpower locking in the Gyarados, but here come the Rings Unbound. Goodbye, pads. UK are down to their just home goal at the moment. They may be able to pick up a couple of KOs, but Klaus is going to have a difficult job, but they do just that, buddy. 2 KOs for the Blaziken on a Ho-Oh and a Buzzwole. Fantastic play there.
Not quite such a difficult task after all there for Klaus, looking so clean on that level 14 Blaziken. And with that, they have all the advantage possible. As you mentioned, there's not a single pad, there's not a single goal left up for UK besides their base. Italy, that is actually something that will be interesting with Rayquaza coming up soon. They have every one of their goals still up, which could mean that you can have some sneaky back caps if you need to, especially late in the game where you're not going to get interrupted by the jump pad into the fight.
Yeah, but I gotta say, if they use the Hooper in a way that we've seen these EU teams do before, they push down onto that home pad, pop that Unite move, and just score points galore, I don't think UK are going to be able to catch up in that sense. But we'll have to see what they decide to go for. But we have 15 seconds away from this Rayquaza fight. We see a rotation from the UK. Looks like they want to push on to this goal pad, but they have been spotted. A nice Dragon Current has to come out to keep that Gyarados alive. And here we go. We've got the engage straight away. Eldegoss Unite move. I don't know how this is going to turn out. We haven't seen Toon pop on in because they haven't used that Seismic Slam just yet. Getting so weak. We see the dive coming in from Potato. They do not want to let anybody get away, but UK have been backed up to their home pad almost instantly.
But they're not quite out just yet. We see that Italy, we're hoping to get control. Oh no, that's the control they need with the KO looking for Charizard with the Seismic Slam. Will get armors, almost get the knockout. It is going to be a trade of 1-for-1 at the moment. The Rings have been unbound, looking to see if they can dash away and get any damage lost. But look at that Hoopa punching everybody. Pick up the knockouts, rekindling the flame though. They've got 3 backup that fight once more, but it is not the fight they have left. This is Italy's game to win. Looking for the knockouts. Ripper's got to be a hero, got to be the mountain that they cannot climb past, but they didn't get the knockouts just yet. Hoopa and Umbreon are still up with a minute left in the game. The punch back onto Umbreon while Ho-Oh is chasing. They got Ripper towards Rayquaza. Fire Chicken's up as well. They could look for one more fight as they look for Brav. Ho-Oh taking a lot of the damage, but no, they turn for Ripper, realizing that's the one they got to get rid of. Snipe shot not quite there. Everyone's pretty much back up in the fight, looking for the knockouts. Umbreon almost taken out. It's down to 25 on Rayquaza. Can they get it? Trying to dash back in. Who is securing it? Inteleon gets it for the UK. They could be bringing this one on home. Looking for the place. Klaus, he's scattered. Potato 2 taken out. They're looking for the dash back. The eject button gets the double knockout for Inteleon. And UK, they are not out of this game.
They're going to throw in these Hundo Burgers, buddy, and they may be able to get this win. We're going to see Brud putting pressure onto Klaus here because we have that shield still on for Inteleon, buddy. They need something coming in here. Seismic Slam from the Charizard. They're going to lock in that Hundo Burger. I don't know if they're close enough there. We've got 59 coming in from the Eldegoss on the bottom goal. This might be it.
They got to get this one. They got to get on to the home base. They even just need Jellyman to get that. Can he get it?
They got the 20
It was in time. Was it in time?
I don't know, buddy. It was seconds left. I don't know if that was enough. Let's see. UK.
I think they're down 1. I think they're down 1. Oh, no.
Oh my God, UK with a masterclass in that final minute.
It's one! They were down 1. Oh, the heartbreak for UK.
Oh my God, what a way to secure the win for Italy. What a push from the UK in return. They took the opportunity, they went for a bit of a rip onto it. I mean, Jellyman locking in it with every single thing that they had. But 1 point, losing by that is, as you've just said it, Magical, absolute heartbreak for UK. I don't know what more you could have done there.
That is tragic. That is all I can say there. That is just tragic. They get the fight around Rayquaza. It was messy. It was all over the place. They secure it by the skin of their teeth. They get these dunks on the outer pads that were still remaining there. And just fall short 1 point.
Buddy, I feel like my neighbors are going to put in a complaint about me with that one. That was... I'm speechless. That was fantastic. I couldn't stop screaming. 1 point to lose that one. Unlucky UK. We see people in chat saying it's coming Rome. It's a repeat of the Euros. Italy managing to just take that one away. But what a fantastic battle and what a fantastic group this has been to watch.
Absolutely outstanding. And I do feel for UK because that... I mean, yes, it wouldn't have been the series. They would have still had to play one more game, but that still gives them one more chance to try to take the series against Italy. It was a far better draft from themselves. Even if they did struggle at the mid-game, we're talking about how they can have this power, especially Jellyman on that Inteleon. The damage numbers don't really show how much they were doing there, and just look at that. Just so unfortunate.
It is, mate. I mean, we'll get an update from production, but I think with the way that Group D is at the moment, I think that's Italy taking first and possibly UK taking second. We'll wait for an update from them. And I think Sweden are taking the third place, so it would mean that at least they go through to stage 3 on the day. But I mean, you want to get the win right now. You know that Italy is the powerhouse of Group D, but what a way to try and answer. I'm going to be dreaming about that final minute of that game because that was fantastic.
I mean, UK still will move on to the third stage at least, so it's not like it's not like they have to go back into the stage 2 for elimination off of that. They still have many more chances here in our Unity European Cup 2024, but it is still a heartbreaker. And finally, we get to see our team. So we will have Belgium, Czechia, and Sweden all participating in stage 2, and that is going to be elimination stage. So they're fighting for their tournament lives there.
Yeah, and I gotta say, I mean, I don't even know who you really have the strongest side there. Belgium were fantastic when we were casting them, but Austria taking them in today. So yeah, that's going to be a really interesting one. You're not going to want to miss any of that action. But what a set that we have for stage 3 already. Some fantastically strong teams, buddy. And this has been a fantastic stage 1. I can't wait to see how this tournament develops. Just another huge thank you coming in from the sponsors and Nouns as well. It's been fantastic.
Yeah, shout out to Nouns Esports, allowing us to bring these games to you so we can watch this awesome Pokemon Unite. And also shout outs to Unity Clash, who have organized the tournament, allowed us to do a lot of this. I think we're all a little worn out from that game. It was definitely tragic, therefore, our UK brethren there. But Italy, props to you picking up the 2-0, and props to all our teams that played today, as well as all the production that are behind the scenes that have helped us out with these games. We are going to toss it to the end here because we are done. That was our last one of stage 1. It was exciting. What a way to finish off stage 1, but we will be back next week and next Friday with more Unite action. You won't want to miss it, and we'll see you there.